Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for another game of the Rugby World Cup. This one taking place in Pool A, which is currently a very close group. So this is a must-win for both of these sides. If the All Blacks win it, there is still a chance for them to make it through to the quarterfinals. But if the Italians can cause the upset, the end of the Rugby World Cup for the ABs will be next week up against Uruguay. But it should be a very entertaining game. Like I mentioned, France sitting at the top of the bunch for Pool A, so they will be feeling relatively confident at this point, although they do play the Italians next week, which means that if the All Blacks, in this case, do manage to get themselves the victory and then beat Uruguay, and then the Italians can beat France, believe it or not, because of the points differential and because of the bonus points that we have been seeing scored by the Italians, that would actually put them through to the next round of the of the Rugby World Cup into the quarterfinals. So it just shows how important it is sometimes to get those few extra tries, which is exactly what both of these sides will be chasing here. We have got just 45 minutes, says Sam. It is indeed 45 minutes till the kickoff, but we have got plenty to look through at for these two sides before getting to that kickoff. And Morning Hamish says, John, welcome in. Hope you are doing well. And also Military has said All Blacks. And there's Owen Hi Hamish says, clear, welcome in. But first of all, we will be looking through at the starting lineups and reserves for these two sides. First of all, for New Zealand, going with a little bit of a mixture of what they went with in that last game up against the Namibians alongside what they had in their first game up against France, although quite a few injury returns for the ABs this week. So hopefully they do go all right. Off of Toinga Fassi at number 1, Cody Taylor at 2, and Nepololala as the number 3. Now the two Blues props that did struggle in the game up against Namibia, having handling errors, giving away penalties. They will certainly want a better performance here as we build towards those quarterfinal matchups. Brodie Retallick and Scott Barrett, the 4 and 5, a lot of experience between those two. They'll be bringing the physicality, also the work rate that those two are able to provide for the ABs out on the field will be what helps them throughout the later stages. Shannon Frizzell returns from injury and number 6. Dalton Papali'i takes on the 7 jersey for this game, and Ardie Savia there at number 8. Aaron Smith and Richie Mo'unga back to that combo that the ABs have gone with predominantly throughout the Rugby Championship and 2023, rather than Roigard and McKenzie, who now both find themselves the spot off the bench. Geordie Barrett is at number 12, returning from his own injury problems. Rieko Ioane on the outside at 13 did end up playing in that last game briefly for the ABs as well. Mark Talia scored 2 tries in that opening contest up against the French. Will Jordan at number 14, and then Beauden Barrett at the back, a man who they have stuck with throughout this Rugby World Cup. I believe he will be rested for the game up against Uruguay, but for now, Beauden Barrett, he is in the starting side, and he is rearing to go for the Italians. In their starting lineup, it is Fischetti at number 1, Nicotera at 2, and then Marco Riccioni as the number 3. Dino Lamb and Federico Rusa going to be the locking duo. Now, I did say that I give the All Blacks the advantage when it comes to that locking duo, but something that I believe the Italians have got in their advantage is definitely that loose forward trio, because they have gone consistently with the same 3 rather than chopping and changing like the All Blacks have all throughout this Rugby World Cup. It is Sebastian Negri at number 6, Mikel Lamaro at 7, the captain, and also Lorenzo Canoni as number 8. Stephen Varney and Paulo Garbisi going to be the 9-10 combo. Morisi and Juan Inacio Brix in the midfield, and then Monty Ioane, Ange Capuzio, and then Tommaso Allen at number 15. Now, Italy went with quite a few switches in their last game up against Uruguay. The likes of Garbisi at 12, Tommaso Allen went to 10, Capuzio at fullback. They've gone back to, I believe, what they should have had for that game as well, and that is leaving everyone in the correct positions. The All Blacks have done that enough throughout this year, and we've seen that positional changes for players who shouldn't be changed can actually hurt you quite badly. But looking through at the chat, there are 26 messages, so I will try my best to be able to read out every single one that is in the chat, although we may miss some because of the amount that is there. To be honest, the All Blacks is good, but Italy could have a chance, says Irwin. I think that this game is one of those ones that probably in the last 5 years that these two sides have played, no one has given Italy as much chance as this match in the Rugby World Cup. And that is exciting, because that means that if the All Blacks don't play well, the World Cup's over. If they do play well, there is still next week that could help confirm their spot. And I believe the crazy thing is If Italy can pull off an upset up against the All Blacks this week, they knock the All Blacks out. If they can pull off the upset against France next week, they knock the French out. So Italy could become the upset causer here. Either this week, next week, one of the two. Going to be interesting. Or maybe neither. And then in that case, the All Blacks and France will go through. We have got the hello from Thailand. Says Maniac and South Africa will be watching, says Eben. And also, hi Hamish, says Penny Lane, welcome in at all suit time. Says Richard, the All Blacks is going full force. I'm going to love it. Come on, the Men in Black from a South African. Says Jasper there. Oh, and also, ciao Hamish, ciao everyone, says David the Monk, go Italy, says Ferdinand, go All Blacks. I once an All Black, always an All Black, says Karinska. Also, tell you what, I'm a mile behind. I think I'm going to have to skip quite a few messages already. Evening, Hamish, go the All Blacks, enjoy the game, my friend, says Joss. And good evening, chat, and Hamish, says Jimbo. But looking through at the previous fixtures that these two sides have had throughout their Rugby World Cup, we will go with the All Blacks first. Here you can see they were able to beat Namibia last week, 71 points to 3. And then their game prior to that was up against France, 27 points to 13 loss, which was not the start to the All Blacks campaign for this Rugby World Cup that they were after. But I'd like to think that they learnt some things from that contest. They may not have proved much of it in terms of those learnings up against the Namibians, but there is still improvement to be made. And if they can peak at the right time, could be a very dangerous side in this Rugby World Cup. For the Italians, in their group, they have started relatively well because they have got 2 bonus point wins over the Namibians and the Uruguayans, which does now mean, like I mentioned, if they get even a single win over the French next week, because of those bonus points, they will go through rather than missing out. But yeah, a couple of sides that know how to score points. It's just whether or not stylistically when they match up, they will actually be able to score those points that we know that they can. But looking at the chat once more, we have got there, are there any lineup changes? Not that I know of at this point, although quite a few changes have been made late for sides throughout this Rugby World Cup. I know the game that we were watching yesterday between Japan and Samoa, both sides had late injury changes with Chris Vui out, Stephen Luatua went in. Of course, Stephen Luatua, ex-All Black as well. Some people will remember back in the day when he was playing nil all full time, says Jarvis. So if that was the case, then that would mean at this point that, oh, that's an interesting one. It would be points differential that comes into play, I believe, after next week. And going to watch this one on Peacock, says Nathan Barnes. And also the match will get in 40 minutes. Welcome, people, says Jody. Welcome in once again. And come on, the Spaghetti Eaters, says Stuart. I've never understood that. It's like when people, never mind. It's always weird when people are like, they refer to countries as the food that they are known for. Like for New Zealand, what will we be known for? The pavlova munchers, I guess. That sounds kind of dodgy, doesn't it? But yeah, it's interesting. And also crowd will cheer for Italy, says Toby, as usual. Hoping a great game by the Italians, though. The AB is going to come out in the zone, and the upside from an AB's loss, that you will be, finally be rid of Foster, says Albert. Well, the news is, whether he wins or not, he's still going to be gone. So I guess it's one of those cases of how many games are we going to see from Ian Foster before he does end up leaving, and it will be Scott Robinson taking over for the ABs. I'm curious to know how many of these top sides around the world are going to be replacing their coaches at the end of this Rugby World Cup. I know that for one, Australia wouldn't be a bad idea, but I think they locked Eddie Jones in for a few years. They were hoping that it would go better than it has. Hi, says Yucko. I think the Italians will bring it in the first 40. How do they go in the last 40? Will be down to the fitness and discipline, says David the Mod. Yeah, both of these sides, they have had moments of ill discipline throughout this Rugby World Cup. Of course, Ethan de Groot not playing in this game because he did get red carded in the last contest. He has got a 2-week suspension, which does mean that he will be missing this game. He will be missing the game up against Uruguay. And then the coaches have a big decision to make. Do they want to bring him in just before the quarterfinal, or would they prefer to leave him out, maybe have him coming off the bench? My big question mark is to Mighty Williams. Why haven't we seen more of him? We do get to see him off the bench for this game alongside Dane Coles, and the injury return of Tyrell Lomax at number 18. Sam Whitelock bringing up his 149th cap for the All Blacks coming off the bench here. And another Sam is at number 20. That is Sam Kane, recently returning from his back spasm injury. He will be having that spot off the bench. Cam Roygaard, Damian McKenzie, as well as Anton Leonard-Brown, they will be the back replacements. Would have loved to see Whainga Nuku get a little bit of a crack in this game perhaps, but instead they are saving him for that Uruguay game. For the Italians, it is going to be Faiva, Neymar and Ferrari. Off their bench, Canoni at number 19, who has had some minutes in the starting lineup, instead deciding to go with him off the bench here. Zuliani at number 20, Halafihi at 21, Pedrero at number 22, and Odogwu. He has looked very good anytime he's made his way onto the field. A very solid ball runner and a dangerous man with the ball in hand. Looking at the two games that we've already seen this round, as you can see, relatively close for the two matches. 6 points difference between Japan and Samoa, so that has helped Japan possibly get that a little bit closer to the quarterfinals. And then in that first game, Uruguay versus Namibia, 10 points difference. That's probably a good game to reference when it comes to this match, because Namibia were in the lead, which I believe will be similar to what we see for the All Blacks. And then from there in the second half, that was when the discipline started letting them down. Yellow cards, red cards, and then that allowed Uruguay to get back into the game. Now, the benefit that the All Blacks will have is I believe their gas tank should be a little bit better than Namibia's. But yeah, it's an interesting one. It's shown recently, definitely these two games, how much discipline can hurt you. Samoa also getting the yellow and a red card throughout that game. Ben Lamb, unfortunately, not quite living up to the expectation for that man returning out on the wing. But we have still got plenty more games taking place this round as well, ladies and gentlemen. It is Argentina versus Chile tomorrow morning, the South American derby. If Argentina win that, it will be an absolute thriller between Japan and Argentina next week to confirm who else makes it through in that group. Georgia versus Fiji. That is also a very important game. If the Fijians win it with a bonus point, that will secure their spot in the quarterfinals. Scotland versus Romania. That is more of the technicality game, depending on what happens in the South Africa-Tonga game, as well as Australia versus Portugal, taking place on the Monday. Every single game that is listed here, we will be covering on the channel. Looking at the chat once more, we have got there, how many tries do Italy realistically score here? 3 max. Says Blindside, it completely depends on this All Blacks defence, I believe, because Namibia weren't able to break it. France managed to break it, I believe it was 3 times or 2 times. Either way, though, they didn't receive that bonus point. So for the Italians, just walking away with a win here is absolutely crucial, which is why if the All Blacks are ill-disciplined, we might see the Italians just slowly 3 points, 3 points, 3 points, similar to what we saw for England in their game up against Argentina, just slowly keep that scoreboard pressure ticking over, and then eventually you do manage to break through the line. How's things, Hamish? All Blacks, then Wales will be waiting. Says David, and also we've got there, I'd say 35 points to 12. And ABs will roar like a lion in this match. They need to prove a point, says Robin Wood. And also we have got their Northern Hemisphere battering Southern Hemisphere at this cup, says Toby. Although at this stage, overall, a lot of the sides that were supposed to make it through, with the exception of Australia, have so far. And then it's going to be those playoff games that will definitely determine who is going better out of the two sides. Like we're seeing France have a great campaign so far. It's crazy to think that they've got 3 wins from 3. But if they lose the Italians in that last game, because they haven't received those bonus points, that will actually knock them out of their own competition. Also recently losing Antoine Dupont for the Irish. Feel like they are looking like a very tough side to beat at the moment, but it's a thing. They had a close game with South Africa. Those games can easily go either way. It's going to be an entertaining World Cup when we get to those playoff games. Great to see you, Hamish. Love the tie. You look great and casual as well, says Judy. Thank you very much. I decided I'd wear the suit, seeing as if the All Blacks do lose this game, it will be their funeral, mainly because they are knocked out of this Rugby World Cup, but also it will be a monumental occasion for the Italians if they can pull it off, get themselves the victory. Does it start at 8:30, says Meto Wicks? It will be starting actually at 9, I believe, your time, which is in just over 30 minutes time. They have got their key All Blacks return for today's match. Tyrell Lomax, Scott Barrett, Shannon Frizzell, Sam Cane and Geordie Barrett all making their returns. I believe 4 of those 5 are from injury, and then Scott Barrett just rested for the last contest. Would be unreal if France went out in the first round, says Nathan Barnes. You're definitely in a home Rugby World Cup, but that's the unpredictability of this competition. Italy to shock the world tonight, says Justin, and also 9, says Jarvis, and also Ireland see you in the quarters, says Patrick Shields. And now Hurricanes have proven to provide the best impact players. Dane Coles, Asafa Moore, TJ Perenaro, Roy Gardner, the list goes on, says Blindside XV. And it is great to see that the opportunity has been given to Roy Gard off the bench for this game, rather than going with Finley Christie, who is out of form. So the big question mark, I guess, there is whether or not they go with Christie up against Uruguay, try and get him that form before the quarterfinals and semi-finals. But I believe Roygaard's the way to go. We've seen him prove it in that last game that he played. Looks like Jason Ryan in the background, just warming up with Artie Savia and some of the big forwards, including Sam Whitelock, who's going to be bringing up his 149th cap. The weather is all screwed up. Cold September here in Fiji, says Edward. Yeah, and I think the game, by the looks of it, there isn't any rain around, which is ideal for this match because we want to see that fast-paced running rugby, and I believe that actually favours both sides if that is the way that the game is going to be played. Good morning. Going to make myself some breakfast before kickoff, says Nuvmum, and also Italy always play well versus France. It's always their best Six Nations performance, says Jimbo. Yeah, last year, I can't remember the score exactly, but I think it was like 27-23 or something like that. It was a relatively close game, wasn't it, between those two sides? So who knows what can happen next week? We could see a massive upset, or we may end up seeing just the stock standard of France winning that game, being 4 from 4, making their way through to the next stage. But anyone wondering about the next games that are taking place next week, New Zealand have got their first game up against Uruguay. That is on Friday morning, New Zealand time. France versus Italy taking place on the Saturday morning. Of course, these are all New Zealand times, so if you are in South Africa, what you will end up doing is pretty much it's 9 p.m. for those start times, so just an hour later plus changing the PM or the AM. In that regard, Wales versus Georgia. Wales have already qualified, same can be said about the English, but the two sides along them from this match, or from those matches, have not. And I don't actually think they can, depending on some of the results that happened this week, but they will still want to put in a good showing for their final effort in the Rugby World Cup. Ireland versus Scotland, Six Nations rematch. I mentioned about it, how this round almost has that Six Nations feel for the final round before the quarterfinals. Japan versus Argentina, that is a crucial game for those two sides because that will determine who makes their way through to the next stage of the contest. Tonga versus Romania, Fiji versus Portugal, that could also be a very crucial game. So depending on how New Zealand-Uruguay goes, we assume in that contest, if New Zealand were able to get themselves that win and also winning this game, that will mean that France versus Italy, that is a game that will determine who goes through. The game between Ireland and Scotland, depending on some of the results this round, could be the decider. Same with Japan versus Argentina and same with Fiji versus Portugal. So still quite a bit of oomph left in these group stage matches before making it to the quarterfinals. We have got there, you're absolutely right. I reckon if you can't score tries without the ball, kia kaha our All Blacks. I back every player that wears our All Blacks jersey, so yeah to our All Blacks, says Tutirangi. And also we have got there, what is your prediction, says Hirsch. I'm going New Zealand by 25, but I have a feeling that it could be a little bit closer than that. You know who's blowing the whistle tonight? It is Matthew Carley in charge of this one, the man who has so far had, what games has he refereed? He's refereed Wales versus Fiji, which did have quite a few penalties. There was also the game last round that he ref, but I can't quite remember which one that was. One moment, I'm about to sneeze. I just sneezed like 4 times in a row. That's impressive. I did mute, by the way, anyone who's like, that was very quiet sneezing, but yeah, did put it on mute just before doing so. I thought you're saving your suit for the Springboks this morning, Lagrange. Well, we can wear it more than once. We aren't renting it. We own it, so that's the good news. We can wear it anytime we like. I could wear it down to the shops if I wanted, but I'd probably get sucker punched. So I decided against it. Will you get food from your mum if they only win by 25? Says Kurt, I doubt it. I'll probably end up taking her out for lunch at some stage, seeing as she did join in the video. We have got there, mate, you have snot on your tie. Says Vagabond. I hope not, but you never know, do you? It's the polka dots, maybe, that you are looking at. We have got there, what are you doing, says Joe. Just sneezing. You know, I feel despite Ireland looking so good, the All Blacks will prefer not versing South Africa in the quarters, says Blindside XB. I'm looking very professional, says Malcolm there. And hi, guys, looking forward to this game. All Blacks by 20. Says George in there as well. But anyone who hasn't seen the starting lineup for the All Blacks, few changes from what they did have in their last game up against Namibia. And this is going to be an extremely important game, so they have to make sure that they are on their A game. Alfa Tuanga Fasi, Cody Taylor and Nepalulala. They will be the front row for the All Blacks. Brodie Retallick and Scott Barrett in the locking duo. Now, there's going to be a lot of weight on those men's shoulders because Brodie Retallick, we know he's a workhorse. We know how strong he can be when he gets it right. Same with Scott Barrett. I feel like the discipline for the All Blacks, though, across those first 5 positions, going to be absolutely crucial. We know Barrett can have a temper, but if he can use it to his advantage and only hit the other opposition legally, the All Blacks could find themselves pushing the Italians back. Shannon Frizzell returning from injury at number 6, so gets himself the start for the first time in this Rugby World Cup. Dalton Papali'i at 7. That is due to Sam Cane not quite being up to the standard that they want him to be, so he will be coming off the bench in this match instead. And Ardie Savia there at number 8. Aaron Smith at 9 with Richie Mo'unga as the number 10. Geordie Barrett and Rieko Ioane in the midfield combo. So Barrett returning from his own injury and now ready to go for this contest. And I mentioned it in my preview. The kicking game at Geordie Barrett, it's going to be so crucial because the All Blacks have not been winning their kicking battles over the last few weeks. Up against the French, they kept on getting forced back into their own 22, having to clear it, whereas Geordie Barrett with that torpedo punt that he offers, if he can get that way downfield into the Italian 22, that is where the All Blacks can start to apply pressure, and that is exactly why Geordie Barrett will be so key. At number 12, Mark Talia out on the left wing. He will be going head-to-head with Ange Capuzzo. Quite an exciting battle on that side. Will Jordan out on the right wing and Beauden Barrett at number 15. Looking through at the Italians, it is Pichetti, Nicotera and Riccioni as the front row. Dino Lamb and Federico Rosa as the locking duo. Then Sebastian Negri, Mikel Lamaro and Lorenzo Cannoni. The same loose forward trio that the Italians have gone with consistently throughout this Rugby World Cup. Stephen Barney at number 9 with Paolo Garbisi returning to 10 after playing 12 in the last game. Luca Maurici, Juan Ignacio Brix in the midfield, and Montiuani, Capuzzo, and Tommaso Allen at number 15 in the chat. We have also got a member from 7 months. Really excited for this, hoping for a statement, says Boderick Fall. And thank you very much for staying as a member on the channel, mate. Hugely appreciated. Like you only have 5 sneezes in a row. If you have 5, you would have turned into a rugby ball, says Crown and Glory. That would have been very tricky to commentary, wouldn't it? And we have also got there, you need to take an allergy non-sedative tablet. I do like the ABs. South Africa Bok fan, says Goldberg. And also, don't take your mum to Peter. Yeah, Peter Pitt didn't really look that flash, did it? In that video that we did. He was eating Haribo. Says, Joe, you think I've just got a bag of lollies over there that I just munch on? That would be really smart. Although it's very hard to, I'd have to just swallow the lollies. Oh, do not do that as well, ladies and gentlemen. I once swallowed a chunk of frozen mango, but that was an accident. You guys probably didn't need to know that. We have got a donation from Jonathan Manson. Thank you very much, mate. All Blacks win, but Italy should only lose by 15 to 23. Italy only lost by 16 in the test match to Ireland. There's Jonathan Manson. And there's one from a South African. When the ABs play, it's scary. Says Robin. And the last time Carly was the referee, the All Blacks lost by a record margin against the Springboks. That is very true. He was in charge of that ABs versus Box game. We have got there New Zealand every day of the week and twice on a Sunday. 30-point gap minimum. All the best to both sides. Says a Carlos and comfortable win for the All Blacks. Says Trajan. There as well. There is 9 World Cups that New Zealanders didn't win and soon to be 10. 4 more years. They are never as good as they think they are. Says Porter. I mean, they've had 3 World Cups in the past though. So that is something, I guess. Same with the Springboks. Wallabies even. You look at their form at the moment. They've had 2. Shows that anything is possible depending on how, I guess, those quarterfinal playoff games go. That's the main thing. If both... Well, that's the thing. Whoever wins those 2 quarterfinals on this side of the draw, I believe, are going far in this World Cup. Whether that's Ireland, New Zealand, South Africa, or France. Because on the other side, you'd have to say maybe that slightly lighter workload might favour them massively as they make their way through just a little bit further. We have got a new member on the channel as well from Andre Vermeulen. Thank you very much, mate, for hitting that membership button. And New Zealand 54-12 says Maniac. And All Blacks all the way says Viniana there. And should have fielded a team of dwarfs. Penalised Italy out of the game for high tackles, says Matt. And I was like, Irish, your boys must be sharp, says David Dempsey. Well, that's the thing. The All Blacks at this stage, they've got quite a bit to prove because their first 2 games of this Rugby World Cup, I know it sounds weird to say, but the 71 points to 3 win that they had over the Namibians, there was still a lot that needed to be improved. We had a few players in that contest that just didn't look like they quite stepped up the way that they needed to. Wallabies suck, says Dirk. They currently do, yes, but they've still got those 2 World Cups in their cabinet, which is very impressive for the Wallabies. And I imagine Australia didn't have Aussie rules. They would be a rugby superpower, says Toby. Well, that's the thing. They just need to find a way of stopping all the good players from heading to rugby league. Because at the moment, as soon as you go into that high school, early uni stage, like all the academies from the league are scouting, they're getting them into rugby league, getting them to the NRL, and then from there, union has no shot. So it's only really a limited group that actually play rugby union in Australia, and that's something that they've got to try and work on so that they can have a player pool that can be competitive with other sides. Around the world, Wake Up All Blacks, says David Gray. The question is, can the All Blacks fix fundamental mistakes and be competitive this World Cup? Fozzie's record says no, says Xavier. And I think the big thing is everyone is waiting for a big All Blacks performance that they watch and go, where did that come from? And currently, like, they didn't do it up against France. Namibia, it looked like at moments that it was slightly there. And the thing is, in that Namibian game, that was without a lot of the starters that Ian Foster would normally go with. So it makes you wonder whether or not is it selection at the moment for the All Blacks that has been a bit of a struggle. I'm surprised that we don't see Whainā Nuku in the starting 23 for the ABC. I'm surprised we don't see Ethan Blackadder rather than Sam Cane off the bench. I would have thought this would be the perfect opportunity to test out Blackadder, save Sam Cane for next week in the game up against Uruguay to see if he is match fit, rather than pushing him too early and then finding out he's going to be broken. Yes, also Michael Hooper is going to the Warriors 2024, says Ian Foster. And also Whainā Nuku, I agree, says Jarvis. And also Kia ora, Cooper Cronk. Hope you're all well, brother. And hi, guys, says Ockert. And there as well. But I should mention we are 19 minutes away from the kickoff in this contest, ladies and gentlemen. So if you are new to the channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. It is hugely appreciated you all being here for these live streams. We have got plenty more coming for this Rugby World Cup. Anyone curious about how we sit on the table currently for these two sides? Italy in second on the 10 points, winning both of their games with a bonus point so far. The All Blacks, they have had one win, one loss. The one that they did manage to get themselves the victory up against Namibia, they did walk away with the bonus point. Also, Uruguay getting themselves their first win of the Rugby World Cup just a little bit earlier on in the round, winning by 10 points up against Namibia, who sat 0 from 4 with their points differential of 218 in the minus. Looking at Pool B, Ireland, they are all but secured in this Rugby World Cup. South Africa, they've got their game up against Tonga just around the corner. Scotland playing Romania. Both taking place this round. We will be covering both of those games. So no one yet in Pool B has secured their spot. And that is actually the same statement that goes for Pool A. But depending on the result of this game, may determine who could be going through. Pool C, at the moment, Wales have qualified. As you can see, a large gap between them and the next sides. Georgia have got their game up against the Fijians just around the corner. One win from two for Fiji, and one draw for the Georgians after that draw up against Portugal. England have also confirmed their spot, but Argentina, they've got their game up against Chile. More than likely, Los Pumas and Japan will both be sitting on those 9 points or so, heading into their playoff game next week, which will determine who out of those sides do end up going through, because no matter what now, I don't believe Samoa can make it just because of that loss up against the Japanese. In the chat, we have got there as well, De Moonga play today. Says Safetu, he will be in the starting lineup for this matchup starting at 10, and they have actually got McKenzie coming off the bench in this game, which is something that normally when Richie Mo'unga is in the starting side, they don't have McKenzie as that cover, although they've also got Bowden Barrett. So I feel like they've got three of a very similar player taking up three of those spots where they could have had maybe one other guy, likes of a Whainā Nuku, even to a certain extent Caleb Clark, just to offer a little bit of something different rather than the three very similar players. Yes, Sam Cane sucks, says Shane. And also we have got there, so if Ireland lose with a bonus point, do they play France? Says Porter. Porter, you should know that, Porter. You've been Irish #1 fan since day one. You should know exactly how many points they need to be able to make their way through to certain stages. And if Italy won, they would make a movie about it, says Al Mac. But yeah, if Ireland end up losing with a bonus point to Scotland, I believe, depending on that Springboks result, that's the big one, because, yeah, or else it's very hard to tell. It'll be funny if the All Blacks don't qualify. Says okay, and New Zealand ain't going to lose, says Robert. And also don't rule out Scotland yet. Our backs are the wall. But we like, or our backs are to the wall, but we like it like that, says Vagabond. and Italy have shown growth over the years. But this Italy side has been so far has been a standout, says Mr. Fantastic AJ. They have really impressed a lot of people. And the big thing for Italy here is consistency. Because in that 4-pack, I feel like they've gone with relatively similar to what they've had in their last 2 games. So similar to what we see Ireland doing currently, which is going with a relatively same side each and 30 times 30 and get. What do you think? Very hard to tell. I'm normally terrible at betting. I also do not recommend gambling because as soon as you lose your money, you normally try and put more money on it to get that back, and then it's just a downward spiral till you're selling your body for money. We have got there, just wait till you see this Northern Hemisphere power from Italy tonight, says True North. New Zealand is the only major side that have never lost to Italy, says Trajan. So what a time to do it for the Italians. If they were able to pull off that upset, it would certainly make them very happy, and that would almost confirm their spot in those quarterfinals as well. It's going to be bye-bye to New Zealand, says True North. And New Zealand will win at the bonus point. They have something to prove to the rest of the world, says Rishon. One moment, we are about to sneeze again. We are back. I do apologise for the sneezing, ladies and gentlemen. Sell your bodies for money. That escalated quickly, says Red 7. Sounds accurate, says okay. And today is the day, says Xavier. And Sam Kane might not be the best or the flashiest, but I've seen him set up a lot of great rugby tries for his team. He's not greedy, says Mr. Lerm. And I'm curious to see what he can do off the bench in this game for the ABs. Mainly because we haven't seen him since, I believe, the start of this World Cup. He was supposed to be playing up against France. Then from there, had the back spasms, so ended up missing out there. Didn't play in that last game up against Namibia. So it's a risky time to bring him back. Is sneezing for luck, Hamish, says Penny Lane? No, sneezing is because of hay fever, of course, but could be a little bit lucky. The AB's back. Selling your body for money is fun and a great money earner. There's Crown and Glory Tattoo. And Italy with 69 points on the All Blacks, says True North. And our game needs to be as tight as that tie, says Sea Fence. And yeah, it is a very tight tie. I can hardly breathe at the moment. But they are just showing the front row off of Tuangafasi, Cody Taylor, and Nepo Lulala. That is somewhere that is the biggest concern, I believe, for the All Blacks. Because at scrum time, don't get me wrong, scrums are normally pretty strong from the ABs. They are trained well by Greg Feek, the AB scrum coach. But Lulala and Tuangafasi, the term penalty magnets comes to mind. And I feel bad for saying that, but it's concerning. I feel like in this game, Tamaiti Williams would have been a great choice at number 1. Fletcher Null, number 3, having all Crusaders front row up against the Italians. And bless you, in an allergy tab, non-sedative, losing yourself up, Hamish. Says it was there from Goldberg, and will the All Blacks be out if they lose? They will be. If they don't get themselves a victory here, unless, plot twist, the All Blacks actually wouldn't completely be out, my apologies, because if Italy then go on and beat France next week, the All Blacks, if they beat Uruguay, they'd still miss out. Never mind, sorry, I got a bit excited, but yeah, nah. It's not good for the ABs if they lose this game. They will be going home early, which would not be ideal. Massacre coming up. At least 30 points in the favour of the ABs, says Saturday players. If the All Blacks players lose their mojo, the scoreline can easily be 50 to 60 points, says George. And the Lala ball handling is terrible, says Sam Wilson. Yeah, unfortunately, that has been something that's let down the ABs front row, is that loose carry that they normally end up having. And also hit that like button and subscribe, says Ruth. Anyone who hasn't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We are on the road to 36,000 subscribers. So if you do want to help us get there, it is greatly appreciated. We have got there. They must win, says okay. And also is Harvey starting? He is not. He is also not coming off the bench in this contest. What are the conditions in Leon at the moment, says Sam Steele? It looks like it's a relatively nice evening. I think I saw earlier on around that about 17 degrees Celsius. So it should be a nice night for running rugby, and I believe that both of these sides can provide a very entertaining game when it does take place. I should mention that both of these teams still have one more game left in their Rugby World Cup campaign. The ABs have got their game next week up against Uruguay. That will be taking place on Friday night. And then for the Italians, they have got the host France in what could be a do-or-die game for them, because if the All Blacks win here, it means that Italy must win that game up against France to make it through to the quarterfinals. Looking through though at the starting lineups once more as the two sides are just about to make their way out onto the field for New Zealand. It is Ofa Tuangafasi, Cody Taylor at number 2 and Nepo Olala as the number 3. That is somewhere that if the All Blacks can get it right, they could find themselves quite a bit of dominance, but if it goes wrong, they might be on the back foot from the get-go. Brodie Retallick and Scott Barrett, a lot of experience, a lot of physicality from those two throughout this game. Shannon Frizzell returns at number 6 after his injury. Dalton Papali'i at 7, and Ardie Savia, the captain, will be slotting in as the number 8. Aaron Smith and Richie Mo'unga as the 9-10 combo, with Geordie Barrett and Rieko Ioane back in the midfield, with Barrett recently returning from his injury. They're about to do the coin toss. Lamaro gets the call. What does he decide? This pretty much just determines which way they are going and who will be receiving the ball. So Ardie Savia won the toss. Let's see whether or not he can win the game as well. Mark Delia out on the left wing. Will Jordan out on the right wing. And Beauden Barrett at 15. So quite a bit of Blues injection into this game. In fact, 5 Blues players in this starting lineup, which would have to be close to the most that we have seen throughout this Rugby World Cup and also the Rugby Championship. So far, looking at the Italians, it is Fischetti, Nicotera and Macariccioni as the front row. Dino Lamb and Federico Rusa in the locking duo. Sebastian Negri, Mikel Lamaro, the captain, and Kononi at number 8. Consistency is key, and the Italians going with the same 3 in the loose forwards throughout all of 2023. Stephen Varney and Paolo Garbisi back to the 19 combo. That is what they used in their first contest up against the Namibians. Maurici at number 12 with Juan Inacio Brex. At number 13, Monty Ioane, Ange Capuzio, and Tommaso Allen at number 15. But both sides just about to make their way out of the tunnels. A massive chance here to make a statement before heading towards those quarterfinals. We have got there from Minez. Unleash, boys. No red cards, please. Up the A bars, says Minez. Thank you very much for your donation, mate. Usually appreciate it. Morning, Hamish. Every day here in Waipu. I made the result bright in our day, says Neville in there. As well, they should have Blackadder off the bench. I agree. I feel like he would have been a very good option to have in this contest. And also, this guy's dreaming, says Mounty. Is that myself? What way? Like, I'm trying to think of what I would have said during the starting lineup, because the only slightly controversial thing, I guess, was the fact that the AB's front row might be struggling. Was that one? Will you do the haka for us since we can't see the live feed? Stadium says, Rishan, I will not know because the suit's quite tight. And I'll probably rip the back out of it if I did such a thing. It's springtime in New Zealand. While up here we are autumn, heading for winter, but still tomorrow 18 degrees, says Porta. And I have a bit of wind this morning, says Crown and Glory. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. And I feel like everyone else in your household's probably sorry to hear that too. 7-1 split, Tauro and Bomb Squeak up in the dust, says Blues Nate. In Italy, very young team, forwards oldest players 29 and the backs oldest 32. Says Ockert, whereas the All Blacks, they've got quite a bit of extra experience out there on the park. Other than Roygaard, who's our youngest player? In fact, in the starting lineup, probably Will Jordan would be the youngest player out there, or Dalton Papali'i, one of those two. Greeting people, hey Hamish. And also we have got the idea of a problem with the front row, says Kurt. I mean, I know Ofa Tuangafasi and Nepo Olala combined gave away about 4 penalties last game and also dropped the ball about 3 or 4 times, so I think that's our biggest concern in this matchup. As the game started yet, says Miss Solomon. Not quite, but they are just about to have the national anthems. Then we will be underway for this contest, ladies and gentlemen. 3 Barretts all standing hand in hand. I like to call it Fozzie's wet dream, but that would be inappropriate. Tamaiti Williams, youngest in the squad, says Charles there. Stand for the anthem Kiwi, says Mounty, although then you guys would just see my crotch, which, I mean, that would feel more disrespectful than not standing, I think, in that regard. And Springboks are in the crowd, says Irvin there, and I like, says David. And also we have got there, they should translate the haka, says Toby. I know that at our school we used to have it. Lazy boys, says Mounty. I wish I had one. At the moment I've only got a wooden chair rather than a lazy boy. We have got there Kamate, says Trajan. And there as well. But do let me know your score predictions now, ladies and gentlemen, for this contest. Do you think it's going to be a one-sided affair, or will the Italians keep it close and possibly even snatch the victory near the end? Would have picked Leicester over Anton, more of an impact, says Sai. And also, let's go Italy. Good lucks for the AB's boys for life. Kieran Crowley says it was there from Blues Nate. And Italy, beware the ideas of September 29th, Says Kerno Wick, and hello everybody. Says Rudy, welcome in. When are they going to play? They are going to play in 6 minutes time. We have just got the New Zealand national anthem. Then it is going to be the haka after the Italian national anthem, and then they are into it for this match. Forza Azzurri. It'd be great were Italy to win. As an Irishman, I'd rather face them than New Zealand in a potential quarterfinal. And also, we have got to get ready for the game. And also New Zealand 45-12, New Zealand 42-18. AB's by 40. Okay, so everyone seems to be in about that 40 margin at this stage by the looks of it. New Zealand is going to wipe out the Mafia, says Stahl, and also Italy will keep it close. This is everything to them, says Daly. And we can see there the Italians as they sing the national anthem. They are fired up. They are ready for a big contest here. And if they can walk away with the victory, that would mean that they automatically qualify for the quarterfinals. It would just be that question mark of will they be number 1 or will they be number 2 in Pool A. Whereas for New Zealand, if they lose this game, their World Cup is over. That just shows how competitive this World Cup can be. And the fact that it is such a short competition means that every game, every point is absolutely crucial, which is why I mentioned that if the Italians lose this game, they can actually still end up qualifying ahead of France alongside perhaps New Zealand if they do get themselves their win over the Italians. But currently on this side of the draw, there are no confirmed games or no confirmed quarterfinalists as of yet. The only confirmed that we have is England and Wales. They are the two sides that are already going through, but everyone else is still up in the air, still opportunities on these sides as well. And I know Matthew Carley, who played for Wales last time as the ref, says Strazan looking fresh and good, Hamish. I remember to smile up the ladies, or sorry, at the ladies, says please Nate, rather than up the ladies. And this Italian team has something about them, says Mr. Fantastic AJ. Well, they've just got a mentality to go out there and just try their absolute best, which I know sounds like it's like a participation, but they've been working together as a side and they've been building that chemistry. They know that this is their best opportunity, probably for quite some time, to make it into that quarterfinals. I'm quite nervous as well for this game, I think, for both of these two sides. The thing is, the All Blacks are going out here and they need to put on a show. The Italians are going out here and they need to dig deeper than they have over the last 12 to 24 months. It's the Kiwi coach, says Dali there. And will Italy be New Zealand's Japan? The big question. We've had a slight upset in this Rugby World Cup so far with the Fijians beating Australia for the first time in 69 years. This game, the Italians come in as $15 underdogs. So if they win it here, that will be absolutely massive for them. And Jordan, very fast, brilliant attacking. His defence is good. A few tries be scored against New Zealand on his wing. Now, maybe I'm wrong. All-round good player. Says Porter. Well, the thing is, you also got to look at Mark Talaire's defence. And throughout that Super Rugby Pacific campaign, it did get exposed a little bit. And the reason I think it got exposed was because of the world-class players that he's been going up against. Mute for Kiwi game on. Mute for Kiwi game on, says Mounty. And then also, always polite, smiling and friendly. And what up, Hamish? Show me some love today, mate, says M. Well, shout out to you. I think that's about all the love I can show you, unless you want some sort of other love, but I don't think I'll offer that on the channel. Was that Aaron Smith holding? Says Mr. Fantastic AJ. Oh, they had it for the last game as well. I know the significance of it, but unfortunately my brain has gone blank. But that is the haka done for the All Blacks. Richie McCaw, Conrad Smith, two AB's legends in attendance. You don't want to lose in front of Richie McCaw, do you? Like, that must just be a kick in the pants if that was the case. But this game is just about to get underway, ladies and gentlemen. So if you are new, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. It is hugely appreciated you all being here for this match. The All Blacks will be receiving the kickoff in this first half of our Nepo. Better step up. Come on, boys, these audio. See, that's the thing. I've probably been a bit too critical of those two for what they've done in their last few games. But if they can do well here, I will happily admit that they should be there for the next game or the game after that in the quarterfinals if the ABs do make it that far. And what is the score? Says Cynthia. At the moment, it is 0-0. The game is just about to kick off. We have got there. Let's see what the All Blacks got. Says M. And if New Zealand win this World Cup, they would win next World Cup with dominance. Says Mr. Fantastic AJ. And also we have there kickoff. Says Irvin. Do let me know, ladies and gentlemen, your leading or who you think will be the first try scorer in this contest as well. I believe that the All Blacks will try and start this game at a frantic pace. But with that could come the counter opportunity for the Italians. But I'm going to go with Will Jordan. Mainly because I thought he was going to score in that first game, but he wasn't able to. Instead, they went out to Mark Talia's wing quite often, so I'll go with Will Jordan as the scorer. Or maybe even Brodie Retallick. It's a weird shout, but I think Big Brodie has got one in his tank today as well. And yes, same age, they've been good defensively. Says audio check. And Mark Talia to score first, says Nuss in there as well. But now the countdown is on, ladies and gentlemen. The Italians will be kicking off from right to left here in this fixture. Matthew Carley, the referee in charge. Yeah, just getting all the technicalities out of the way. And then they will be starting up this match. We got the 10 on the clock that is about to start counting down. They still have to show Matthew Carley's name, though. I think that's the thing that we're waiting for. They're about to go. Come on. I think the guy on the stadium microphone is just having a bit of a rant. So it means, there we go. Here comes Matthew Carley, Nick Berry, Christoph Ridley, and Brett Cronin will be the referees in charge of this one. What kits? So the All Blacks are in their black. The Italians are in their white. 3, 2, 1, and the game is underway, ladies and gentlemen. The All Blacks receiving kickoff from the Italians. Whoever wins this game still has a chance in the quarterfinals. The loser of this contest, it becomes just that little bit harder. And if it's the All Blacks who do lose this game, their World Cup hopes are going to be over. Retallick has to carry inside of the 22. Fired back into the pocket to Beauden Barrett. Looks to get some decent distance on that. Goes down towards the halfway line. And now counter-attacking chance for Paolo Garbisi. Tackled by Ioane. Varney gives it across to the right-hand side there. I believe there was Juan Inacio Brex. Joining up with the line alongside Tommaso Allen. Dino Lamb still sitting on the halfway line currently here for the Italians. Garbisi goes across to Monty Ioane. Nice stepping from the youngster Capuzio. Tackled by Dalton Babali, now left-hand side. Good face play so far from the Italians. And that is something that they definitely will want to have early in this game, is being able to hang on to that ball, show the All Blacks that they aren't going to be giving it up that easy. Try and wear down the AB's defence. And now going off to the right-hand side. Monty Ioane, ball on the outside to Sebastian Negri. Tackled by Mark Talia, still 35 metres out from the AB's line. Yet to get themselves the turnover. Cody Taylor over the ball and manages to get the turnover for the All Blacks. I almost said penalty, but it is going to be play on. Rico Ioane going to the right-hand side now. Finds the offload on the inside to Mo'unga. Breaks through the tackle attempt of Riccioni. Now Smith back to Barrett. Going to Barrett again. That was Geordie Barrett this time to Savia, who straightens with his run. Tackled by Varney on the halfway line. I don't think we've seen a drop ball as of yet in this game, and that is now including the fact that Nepo Lulala has touched the ball. Smith back across to Beauden Barrett again to Frizzell. Sling and pass out to Rico Ioane. It was flat and nicely tackled by Luca Morisi. Neither side making the error as of yet in this game. Big Scott Barrett driving his legs. Retallick thought about going for it, but instead leaves it for Smith to kick it in behind and does put it into touch inside of the Italian 22. 2 minutes of out-and-out pace between these two sides. Neither side wanting to make that early mistake. Smith decided it was best to put that ball into touch. We have got there, you have this, and yet people still go to watch paint drying at the Ryder Cup. Go figure that one out, says Robert. Oh, the Ryder Cup's been good though, hasn't it? There was a man who almost got himself a hole-in-one yesterday. You tell that I'd probably watch it as well if I had more time. Now it's going to be thrown in the Katera and also taking place in Italy for the Ryder Cup. That looked close to forward, and in fact it was just inside of their 22. Their mistake made by Varney. Tried to go with the sling and pass. Michel Lamaro received it on the outside, and that is going to be now a perfect opportunity for the All Blacks to start their counter-attack. Moody keeping a close eye on the front row, says Palifatu. The All Blacks against Gucci and handbags, says Gert, and watching from Nigeria, says Master. And also, we have got there go New Zealand, says Ahan. And there is on try coming, says Porter. And I see Paul Allen's card, says Come Brian. And also, we have got watching from South Africa, says Ahan. So welcome in anyone from all around the world. Of course, we have got some people watching from New Zealand. We've got the Northern Hemisphere, South Africa, Fiji. I've seen a few people saying watching from there as well. The pack weights, New Zealand have got the 922 kg pack compared to the 874 for the Italians. So a bit of weight advantage here. They pushed a bit early. All Blacks, Matthew Carley is going to say we'll have another scrum reset. And coin toss means New Zealand will win their black kit for the first or for the entire Rugby World Cup. Says Novmum. Aaron Smith, the halfback, huge amount of experience on his shoulders. Speaking of experience, Whitelock coming off the bench for the All Blacks in this game. 149th cap it will be for that man. Got Jordie Barrett on this right-hand side alongside Mark Talia. And then on the far side, it looks like it's Mo'unga directly behind the scrum. Bowden Barrett at first receiver on that side to the left. And then Will Jordan just a little bit wider here from Germany, says Billy G. And also Italy looks like they are playing their big brother, says him, although the game's not over yet. At the end of the day, the All Blacks, they may start this match well, but it's what the Italians can do throughout the rest of the game. Going to this right-hand side now. Offload back to Mo'unga. That's going to be, unfortunately, deliberately slapped down by the Italian, but I don't actually believe he meant to touch that ball. So it should just stay as a knock-on rather than anything more cynical. Now passed off by Savia. It's gone backwards. 20 metres out, Savia with the pick and go. Tackled low by Paula Garbisi. Lamaro, the captain, tries to get in the breakdown and turn it over. Unable to do so. Now Lulala. Hits it up. In fact, it was Tuanga Fassi this time. Dalton Pabali tackled low. Italy not missing many tackles as of yet throughout the first 5 minutes. Smith slings it off to Mo'unga. Now Barrett, short ball to Ioane, who's lined up well in the midfield by Morisi and Nicotera. Now Mo'unga. Across again to Jordie Barrett. And Hamish Stendelove to Ricardo in Cape Town, says Adrian. And there's now Brody Retallick. Big attack and run. Capuzio takes him down. Smith across to, this time, Scott Barrett. Bit of a counter-ruck there from the Italians. I believe was illegal, though, from Federico Rusa. Now going away the penalty advantage. On off to the right, Mo'unga, one more Dalton Pavali cross kick from Jordie Barrett, finds Will Jordan, who dives for the corner, and I believe it should be alright, yes it is, and Will Jordan scores his first try of the Rugby World Cup competition. We know that Jordie Barrett, normally it's Bowden of the Barrett brothers who is doing the chip and chase, but Jordie said it, you normally give it to Will Jordan, it's my turn. I put it out wide, and Jordan, the pace that he shows, they will just make sure he's onside, of course. Just outside of the 22. Yeah, he was onside. Will Jordan and scores the try in the corner. There's a great angle as well. Will Jordan, plenty of acceleration. Good effort from Stephen Varney to almost bump him into touch. But in the end, Will Jordan still managing to score it. And Dan Fire Hamish says audio and your beautiful thing says Sai. That is a sensational finish from Will Jordan. I'm not sure what are the crowd booing because Stephen Varney didn't wrap his arms, or I'm not sure what they're booing. At least they think Will Jordan's in touch, but he was quite close. Why did he die so high, Showboat? Says Mr. Kiwi for life. Well, I think it was probably all the pent up, I guess, adrenaline from this Rugby World Cup competition, because he hasn't been able to score as of yet, Will Jordan. So he saw his opportunity and he managed to dive over the top, but that is going to be now a kick successful from Richie Mo'unga, making the score 7-0 in favour of the All Blacks. Jordie Barrett, hardly any celebration, just a little, not even a smile from that man. And go the All Blacks, yeah, Will Jordan, which makes me crack up. Oh, what a refreshing young man, says Kurt. He could have lost the ball, says Mr. Kiwi for life. He could have, but in this case, he got lucky because he didn't. Now 7-0 after 7 minutes for the All Blacks. We're yet to see a real era from the ABs throughout this first 8 minutes of the contest. Now Brody Retallick inside of the ABs 22, so I believe they will look now. Put this ball back into the pocket. Smith goes to Bowden Barrett. Almost looked like a slide tackle attempt there from the Italian. He was nowhere near the player, of course, so that is all right. Monty Ioane lined up by Shannon Brazil and wrestled to the turf. 40 metres out from the try line now for the Italians. Garbisi going across here to Nicotera. Varney again. Off the Garbisi, Juan Inesio Brex looping around was Kanoni at number 8. Oh, and that's going to be the advantage against the All Blacks. No clear release from Artie Savia. And now 40 metres out from the line. This will be a good chance for the Italians to get themselves 3 points, get back into the contest. There's Artie Savia just not releasing before going for the ball. Does end up giving away the penalty. Watching from South Africa, says Tafai. That's the way to celebrate after the game. says John there. And also, we've got their good conversion too. My guess was the ABs by the 40, says Brian. I believe here the Italians, they should take the 3. Yep. And it is going to be Tommaso Allen. We'll be lining it up and need to kick this kick. Says Porta, and Italy wraps arms more solidly than New Zealand ever does. Says Diane. It wasn't like an insult to the Italian halfback, by the way, me saying that the crowd were booing because they thought there was a lack of arm wrap. It was just a statement, you know. Like, I didn't say this guy does it more than this guy, anything like that. And the kick from Tommaso Allen is successful. I've just mentioned he has 100% kicking accuracy throughout this whole Rugby World Cup competition, and that will continue with the score now sitting 7 points to 3. As Scott Barrett playing, says Mr. Lurmy is indeed. He is playing at number 5 for this fixture in New Zealand, says Ruben. And there as well. But I will mention anyone who is new to the channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. It is greatly appreciated. You all being here for this contest. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button as we are on the road to 36,000. We are hoping to get there by the end of this game. Kicked into touch on the full from Beauden Barrett, which now will go back to the halfway line, and the Italians will have themselves the scrum feed. New Zealand to have a terrible first half just because board cited. And good response from Italy, says Brian. I don't understand rugby, but I like New Zealand's haka. And you're all good name, says Dully. And yes, Scott is playing. He is alongside both of the other Barrett brothers. Okay, well, Jordan's doing like signals like he's in the army. He was going like this. I don't know what that means. Maybe push wide. Couldn't tell you. And also, can he come kick for South Africa, says Rudy. And good response from Italy, says Brian there. And also up to Naki, says Blues, 9 and 14 from 14 for Allen. Yeah, so hugely impressive for the Italians. And that is certainly helping them in terms of being able to not just increase that points differential, but also just put more pressure on their opposition. Kicks from man so far. We've seen 4 from the All Blacks, not a single kick from the Italians. Now, big scrum. Varney gets it off to the right-hand side here to Juan. Inacio breaks, taken down 40 metres out from the line. Varney back across to the left once more. Big shot coming in on Riccioni. Out to the left again, Garbisi, short, flat pop pass up to, believe it would have been, who was that? Number 5, I think that was Federico Russa. We had the ball, Retallick trying to get over it. Doesn't get the ball once more. Morisi now passes off to Dino Lamb. Good ball retention from the Italians, and now they go for the kick in behind. Will Jordan, not going to be back there to get that one, and it rolls into touch 5 metres out from the AB's line. Not quite a 50-22 as he was just inside of AB's territory, but a brilliant kick from Stephen Varney to put the All Blacks right back in their own area. And go Aotearoa for something different, says Cindy there. And also get moving, AB, says David, and go Italy. And also how many cricket lovers here, says Master. Now Cody Taylor with this line out, 5 metres out. Italy closing that gap. Matthew Carley gets quite grumpy at them. Now Cody Taylor got to throw this ball in for the All Blacks, and they have successfully won that one with Scott Barrett. Offloads it up to Smith. Now off to Savia, tackled by the opposite captor and Mikel Lamaro. Now the ball available. Aaron Smith looking to roll this one back. Has been told to use it, and will put up the kick himself. Looking for distance, won't go into touch. Montiuani now on the halfway line. Builds up a bit of steam. Here he goes towards the ABs. Nepal Olala getting wrong-footed, misses the tackle. Now cross kick from Tommaso Allen. Goes out on the full from the Italians. Now Beauden Barrett thought about going quickly, but they decide against it in the end. And currently I think Ireland will beat New Zealand, says George. We have got their pollard kicks like bollocks, says Karinska, although he's got a higher kicking accuracy than Mani Libok percentage-wise throughout his career. It's just whether or not he returns and does pick up from where he left off, and that's the big question mark for the Springboks in their game up against Tonga. We will be covering that one on the channel as well, I should mention, so anyone who is new, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. We've got the Ireland is nothing as we build, is nothing as we built up, says Dave L. I mean, they're on a 16-match winning streak at the moment, which is pretty impressive. They've beaten the All Blacks twice in that winning streak. They've beaten the South Africans twice in that winning streak. Beaten France, England, Wales, Scotland. Kaputso now kicking that one downfield. Nicely taken by Richie Mo'unga at the back. Gives it across to Beauden Barrett. Goes for another kick. Doesn't find touch with it, instead taken just outside of the 22 by the Italian fullback again, Tommaso Allen. In fact, it was Garabisi who had it. Gives it off to Ioane and then back to Garabisi. Geordie Barrett in the breakdown wins the turnover penalty for not releasing from 50 metres out now. I think the All Blacks will consider going for the corner here, although Geordie Barrett does have the distance if he wants to go with the kicking tee. But it looks like instead he will be kicking for touch. The All Blacks says Mataputu. And whereas the match says Gonzalo, so this game has taken place in Lyon for this game, and the Richie McCaw era says I was there from Ian. Everyone will remember when he plays, says Leslie, for Pollard sucks. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how he goes, because up against the Tongans, I'd like to think he'd find some sort of momentum, but it's whether or not that same thing happens when they are up against their side in the quarterfinals. Now, Retallick claims that line out. Doesn't look completely straight from the All Blacks, but it will be play on. Up to 20 metres out from the line, Aaron Smith wins the penalty advantage for his side because of not rolling away against Nicotera. Now Smith, little pop pass up to the right. Moonga with the banana kick. Will Jordan having to chase that one as well? Or in fact, it was Bowden who was going after it. And how's it from Johannesburg, guys? I love the ABs, especially to give the Irish a moment of pause. If I go Azuri for Pizza Pride, says Red. And this day can be memorable for Italy, says enjoy Cape Town by Sarah. Yeah, that's the thing. If Italy managed to get themselves the victory here, it will be the first time ever that they've beaten the All Blacks, and it would also secure them a spot in the Rugby World Cup quarterfinals. So there's a lot on the line for the Italians, and if they can get it right here, they will certainly reap those rewards. Let's go Italy. And also Smash Them Road says Mr. Learn, but now the line out for the ABs. Or is it? Yep, Geordie Barrett once again is going to be kicking for the touchline. So it's an interesting choice. You've got Mwanga, you've got Barrett, yet it's Geordie Barrett, the one who is kicking for the touchline. So I will just ask this question. Why have Barrett and Mwanga both on the field then? If you're not going to have either of them as the playmaker kicker, could you afford to have maybe Will Jordan slot into fullback, Talia out to that right wing, Whainaunuku on the other wing? Who knows? But now, going to be a rolling maul here for the All Blacks. 10 metres out from the line. Cody Taylor with the ball in hand. It's well set for the ABs with Will Jordan now joining in on the rolling maul action. Italy trying to stop the momentum. But the ABs are over. And it will be the second try of the contest. It looks like it's not in Papali's hands. Who had it? Is it Geordie Barrett? Who had it? Smith? It looks like it might be Aaron Smith, who's ended up with a rolling maul try there. Game over Italy says tonight. I'm hoping for a Springbok ABs final. And stay accurate and smart, All Blacks, says Dude. And there, and also we have got there Amish tonight. I'll do you a proud New Zealand by 12. And Pollard is excellent, says okay. And also appears to be a huge South African supporters following this channel. Nice, says Diane. And also like that thinking there, Hamish says Sai. And there's on South Africa, here go Italy, says Mash Up. And it's a nice rolling maul. Yeah, Aaron Smith is actually the player who ends up with that try off the back. They talked about it. Papali transferring that ball from Cody Taylor out the back. Feel every time the All Blacks get into the 22, they can score. So remember that. This is Italy, though. They play pretty so can't beat a good team, says Brian. Although they've had some pretty close games for the Italians. And the thing is, even if they do end up losing this game, they have still got their next contest up against the French, which if they win that game, they will then qualify for the quarterfinals. So that's actually... I guess the big thing for Italy here is they've got 2 chances of qualification. They're the only side in this pool that have that chance. We got there 2,350 watching and only 227 likes. Come on, guys. Show some love, says Jason. Yeah, anyone who hasn't already, be sure to hit that like button. Also, sure to hit that subscribe button. We are 200 away from our halftime goal. So be sure to hit that subscribe button. So loving the AB's drive, says La Chica, and the best ever. And if that was trained, it was very good, says Kurt. Yeah, but unique having a halfback score off a rolling maul, but currently 14 points to 3 in favour of the All Blacks due to the kick being successful from Richie Mo'unga once more. Now Smith going to the right-hand side, still inside of their 22. Artie Savia breaking the line. He's got Cody Taylor with him and Bowden Barrett. He's going to go off to Bowden. Cody will be like, I ran all that way. You didn't even give me the ball, but Bowden now accelerating, gives it off to Mark Talia, looking for the corner. He's bumped off to Talia, still scores the try and does get the ABs their third. And that is the danger of ever Mark Talia out on the field for the All Blacks. The fact that that looked like there should have been no chance of crossing the try line. 3 Italian defenders in his way. He bumps them off and scores his third try of the Rugby World Cup. Now, that is also a super sticker from Stam. Thank you very much, mate. But it was a great flat run from Ardie Savia. Received the ball from Retallick. Cody Taylor was running quicker than he ever had before, waiting for the pass. Went off to Bowden Barrett, who found that wide cutout to Mark Talia. There were 2 cover defenders for the Italians. They both overran it. Then from there, Tommaso Allen tried to tackle too high and then ends up with Talia still getting over the line while 4 Italians were hanging on to him. We have got there. It's unbelievable that you guys are actually discussing a victory for Italy. Are you serious and think that you are entertaining this? Says Josie. And also we have got their Fiji Best World Sevens team now translating. Says Leslie, and oh my goodness, my heart is singing. Says the chicken there. And also we got their Hamish, sorry. Says Stan in there as well. Now we all go like this. And we all go like that as well. There we go. I see you had it like a lady with a mug, if I'm right there, or that just sneaks in. That is, of course, the super sticker. Did it pop up? Awesome, says Dylan. And also, Hamish, I can see the pride on your face watching your team playing well. Says Richard, although as you guys know, I'm impartial in these commentary. Of course, it seems like I am heavily going for the ABs because they have scored 3 tries, but if the Italians score, I can guarantee you I'd have that same reaction. What's the tackle, says Calmac? They just missed them. Unfortunately, there were the covered defenders there, but for the Italians, unfortunately, they cannot afford to miss those tackles. And we got a $5 super sticker as well from Brett. Thank you very much, mate. Hugely appreciated. Great to see the ABs putting it together. Go, boys. Says Adrian there. And oh, Waltalia, Kika, All Blacks. Says Dubé, and great try. The Italians have a rubbish defence. This could be a Romanian-style score. Says Brian. Is that a new tie? Says Jared. It is not. No, it's the same tie from the previous Rugby World Cup streams. Aaron Smith there, knock on the ground from him. So the Italians managed to get the turnover. They should have a knock-on advantage, though, but Matthew Carley has decided against that. No, Matthew Carley, there was a knock-on from Smith in the breakdown. But now the All Blacks have won the penalty just a couple inches from that last breakdown that did take place. Your heart says ABs, don't lie to us, Hamish. Says CK. And also Ireland going to slaughter New Zealand, says Calvin. And also hello All Blacks and bye-bye Italy. So sorry, says Stull. And let's go New Zealand. So please the tries, or please show the try scorers at the bottom of your screen, Hamish. Says CK. One moment. I'll go like this. That one has been kicked in a touch from the All Blacks once more. Have I got a list that will make it nice and easy? There we go. We'll go All Blacks try scorers. A moment. Like that. So first try was Will. Hey, I actually predicted Will Jordan to score the first try. I've just had that realization. Smith scored the second, and then Talia was able to score the third. Now the All Blacks, Ardie Savia straight through off the back of the line out. The All Blacks score their 4th, and that is their bonus point now in the first 22 minutes of the contest. Go the box, says FK, and also need a Kiwi flag boss. Or Kiwi Lads flag boss, says Blues Nate, and loving the court suit brochure, says Frank. Yeah, it is ideal, just in case, I randomly get invited to a wedding straight after this. Which maybe someone will get married now that they've seen the All Blacks play well. They'll think that it's a miracle and a sign that they should be. I have to add Savia to the list as well, don't I? There we go. But that was a miscommunication from the Italian defence. Looked like it was going to be a line-out drive from the All Blacks. The Italians all got set, ready to defend it, and then they just went straight off the back. Italy have stopped, says Jimbo. The All Blacks, says Atan. WTF, says Kurt, and I'm grading my score prediction from New Zealand to 40 to 70. Says it was there from Brian. Now Richie Moonga lining up another kick here. Why is it World Cup? Why is it World Cup in your graphics? Says Toby. Pretty much because that's like what competition it's a part of. So it's like the World League rather than like Super Rugby or anything along those lines. And Mark Delia is a god. Says a rugby itch and also fastest bonus point. Says it was from Pilo. Although I think South Africa did get their one quicker up against Romania if I'm not wrong. But it's the quickest bonus point for the ABs that they have got throughout this Rugby World Cup. This is where it gets interesting. ABs coming back. Still a Bok though. says a Stan, and also cricket scoring coming in this country, says Callum Mack, but now Mark Talia breaking through another tackle, and it seems like the wind has now been taken out of the Italian sails. A nice pass, Brodie Retallick off to Bowden Barrett Mwonga. I'm going to kick that one into touch, and also AB straight to business, and yeah, the black camo is striking clean, and also Italy made a bolognese with their defence, too tasty not to go through, says cited, and also we have got a donation from Franz Smith as well, and much more impartial than Gerard Viviers. Says Franz Smith, I told you it would be a Mesker, and also True North gone quiet, eh? Says a Mountie, I wanted to believe in Italy, says okay. And now Nicotera throws it in, that's not straight from the Italians, that hurts. Once more, as soon as they get that little bit of a chance to get back into the contest, that is when the mistake happens at line-out time. And all the way All Blacks, says Mataputa. And I was just asking, who do you think is the best New Zealand player of all time? Is it John Olomu, says Patrick? I know that he would certainly be up there. I think positionally, like, there are different players who get slotted into different categories. I think Steve Hansen said it well before the match, and he said that through all eras there has been, like, those absolute standout players, whether or not you look at someone like a John Olomu, Richie McCaw, Dan Carter, another one. But, yeah, I'd say probably one of those three would be right up there. Andrew Murdens was solid, says Mikhail. And no pizza tonight, says Mountie there. And All Blacks for Life, says Renee. Or Renee, I should say. Now another advantage now for the All Blacks. Savia finds the offload to Will Jordan, who goes for the chip in behind. And they will go back now for the original penalty. Italy are making soft mistakes, says Rudy. And does this bonus point secure? AB's in the quarters, says Kevin. At this stage, no. The All Blacks, fun fact, well, it's not really fun for the All Blacks, but they still need to win their game up against Uruguay. If they did somehow have a loss to the Uruguayans next week, they will get knocked out of this World Cup. And that just shows how crucial that first game up against the French could have been, depending on this result. At the moment, the All Blacks in a very dominant position in this game, 25 minutes through, and ahead by 25. We see there Beaver, McCaw, and also Conrad Smith all next to each other. Of course, Stephen Donald knows a thing or two about the Rugby World Cup, getting called in due to injuries, nailing the final kick. And Christian Cullen was amazing, says Maniac. Of course, Stephen Donald and Aaron Smith's brother Conrad up in the stadium watching their bros in black. Says Marco. Now Cody Taylor, 15 metres out from the line here. Taking a long time to decide where they were going, but now they have gone to the front there for the All Blacks. It's in the hands of Papali'i currently, who offloads it back to Cody Taylor now, and the rolling maul has started again for the All Blacks, looking very secure at this point. Now just creeping that little bit more towards the 5 metre line. Matthew Carley says you are allowed to keep going because it's still moving. Aaron Smith sells the dummy, goes through and scores his second try of the match. Is he making a little bit of a statement here towards Roygaard, saying, yes, you got 2 up against Namibia, but I've already scored 2 up against the Italians. Give me my starting lineup spot back. And September game is around the corner. Says Chloe, yeah, we are less than 30 days from the Rugby World Cup final now. Ladies and gentlemen, we have had over 50% of the matches have already taken place in this World Cup. Brodie Retallick trying to will on his side over the try line, and they do get themselves their 5th try now of this contest, the All Blacks. We have got their smash and bro Jerry Collins. Says William, and time to fear the All Blacks again. No chance for Uruguay. Says Elka, and over 100 points. New Zealand All Blacks versus Italy 6. And they want to score more than 96. There's Jody there. A great work from Aaron Smith. Piercing run. Gets another try. Love the All Blacks. They play with a great passion. Great team, says Stull. I should mention anyone who is new to the channel as well. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. We are only sitting around that 200 away from our goal by halftime, which is getting very close. So if you do want to help us out, please do hit that subscribe button. Your points are wrong, says the Rap Demon. Well, the points at the moment, it is sitting 35 points to 3. And now 35 points to 3 with that kick going over. So the points are fake. Okay. Now I can guarantee you that's what the score is. Fun fact, they've scored 5 tries. We have got there 33-3, says Milton, and also Italy is not going to win, says Jeanette, and also never right off the ABs. A great commentary, very exciting game, says Gina. And ABs versus the Bok in the final, says FK. And also stop the game now, says OK. They are just showing the live table as it sits. The All Blacks would be second in this pool. Geordie Barrett now moving up to the 22-metre line for the All Blacks. If these help Kiwi lads reach 40k, let's go. For everyone turned up, says Blues Nate. Now Smith rolling it back inside of the 22 currently for the All Blacks, but probably a dream start to how they would have wanted to begin this game. Taken on the halfway line by Tommaso Allen. Now Mark D'Elia forcing the error. The All Blacks going for that counter ruck, and the breakdown pops out the side now on the side of the Italians once more. Bit of space opening up here on the left-hand side. White Ignacio Briggs looks for the offload to Kanoni. Does put it down now. Will Jordan picks it up, goes off to Moonga. Space opening up for the All Blacks again. Here comes Savia. No, it's Frizzell. Oh, he's had his knee chopped out from underneath him by Juan Ignacio Briggs, but gets back up to his feet, goes again. Barrett thought about going for the pass on the outside to his brother Geordie. Hangs on to it. Just for now, Smith back across to Moonga. Shannon Frizzell, big bump off there on Riccioni. And Moonga back across to Scott Barrett. Rico Ioane. There was a knock on the ground from him. And now the scrum feed for the Italians. Over there, come on. This is like winning against your 3-year-old sister, says Richard. Well, you take any win you can get sometimes. Definitely when you've been out of form. So the All Blacks, they'll be happy enough with what they've been able to do. Yeah, Italy will turn this game around, Kiwi lads. I love you, bro, and your channel. No homo. As straight as a pole, says Deep Sport. At full time, 84 points to 17. Here's Yucko as the prediction. A lot of people are getting a bit too excited about betting a team who can't score a point or can't score a pint in a brewery, says Brian. But I think that's also like some people are underestimating what the Italians have been able to do over the last 12 months or so in terms of the progression and the improvement they've been able to show. I'm excited for the game next week up against France because I feel like this game, I believe the thing that's hurt them the most is what they did in their second contest up against Uruguay, and that was switch everyone's positions because they were playing Garbesi at 12, Capuzzo at 15 rather than 14, Tommaso Allen at 10 rather than 15. I think there's a lot of confusion at the moment, and that showed defensively when those gaps were opening up when the All Blacks were running through. And I believe that next game, after having a full game of playing with everyone in the right position, they should be a bit stronger. One moment, I'm going to sneeze again. We are good. At the bottom, 50-50 for the quarterfinal. Hey, you are awesome, says mate. Thank you very much. And guys, go slow with the chat ball. Hamish can't keep up, says Jacqueline. And they're earlier, not a bad side, says Cy. And so Ireland versus the Kiwis, bye-bye Irish, says Democracy. And this will fire up Italy and motivation towards the French, says Blues Nate. Now, scrum has gone down. In fact, it's going to be a free kick won by the All Blacks. 0-0, says the Rap Demons. Are you sure you haven't, accidentally started the game 30 minutes later, the Rap Demons? Perhaps that is the case. Maybe, have you clicked watch from live on Sky Sport now rather than watch from the start? Where you go, says Rudy. I just lean over to the side so I can sneeze my head off, and then I pop back when I look more presentable. We have got there. I just hope the All Blacks hold the momentum in the second half, says Jean. Are you sneezing, Avish? Are you having a shot of whiskey? People think that I have got a table over there. I can tell you there's nothing here out that way. But it wouldn't be a bad idea, would it? Now, 30 minutes remaining, 30 minutes gone in this contest, and already 35 points on the board for the New Zealanders. Can I donate a Windhoek lager to you, Hamish? Says Victor. I don't know whether or not YouTube have got to that stage of being able to donate beverages, but I do appreciate the gesture. Now 15 metres out from the line, Smith back across to Savia. Now Barrett hits it up. All Blacks looking to get themselves one or two more tries before the end of this first half. Rico Ioane forcing the error, making the mistake. Now pops out the back. Italy inside of their own 22, looking to boot this one down the middle of the field. Nicely taken by Will Jordan. Got the loop around with Richie Moonga if he wants to use him, but instead will go up the middle of the field all by himself. Will Jordan almost through the gap, but a great tackle made on him by Federico Rusa. Now Barrett up to Moonga. Little pop pass up to Geordie Barrett. Smith on the inside. He'll have the hat trick for the ABs. And does score yet again another one. And also we have Gadir, are you in France? Commentating this says, Dave, I am not. No, I've just got a green screen. In this case, but Aaron Smith, 3 tries in this contest so far. First hat trick for an All Black in this Rugby World Cup 2023. Get a nice gaming chair. Says, okay, we are trying to save up for the gaming chair. So hopefully we might have one by the end of the World Cup if we are lucky. But otherwise, I'll end up getting one probably 1 or 2 months afterwards. We have got there, am I sensing a bit of a statement being made here by the All Blacks? Or is it just me, see shame? No, they've gone out there and they've looked to try and be attacking, score as many tries as physically possible. And yeah, it's been a very good first half for the ABs in this match so far. Hamish, keep the wind away with those sneezes. Says, okay, and speaking of those, here we go again. We are good. Richie Moonga gets the kick over as well, ladies and gentlemen. So that now makes the score 42 points to 3. And we have got there, this is how the world knows the AB, says Andre. And also Geelong Cats meow, says Mark. Are you in South Africa? Says Ahan. I am not. No, I am in New Zealand, but we are covering every game of the Rugby World Cup, including South Africa versus Tonga, which is going to be taking place in the near future. Massive cheer or massage chair he needs and a smoking jacket, says Kelmac. And my dude doing his thing, says Justin. And at this rate, they should get close to the 100. And another penalty, this time for the All Blacks. Every breakdown. At the moment, it seems to be the Italians have been penalised. Looked like Barrett was staying down for a little bit longer, but he's back up now on his feet. AB's finally keeping the ball in hand rather than kicking it away, says Ruben. And I said about it in my preview. I said if the All Blacks play running rugby rather than trying to play the territory game, because when has a Southern Hemisphere side done well in a territory kicking battle with the Northern Hemisphere side? It just really happens. So the fact that the All Blacks have been willing to hang on to that ball, be a little bit more aggressive with it in hand, that is why they have been so effective throughout this game. Congratulations, New Zealand, Young Cricket World Cup warm-up and Rugby World Cup, both matches, says Master. And also we have got there at this rate, it should be about 80 points by the end of the match, says, was there from sighted. Nicely taken by Shannon Brazil. Now Papa Lee, back to Smith across. Geordie Barrett, little flick pass out the back to Will Jordan. Manages to find the offload. Once more, Savia driving his legs. He's already had about 50 running metres throughout this contest. Rictallick with the pick and go around the side of the breakdown. Now Barrett goes off to Barrett. Drop ball by Ofa Tuangafasi. And now it is going to be a scrum feed for the Italians. I love you, my All Blacks boys. I always believe you'll make an amazing return, full of surprise as always, says Military. And also the All Blacks are back. I bet the Irish are nice to see. It would be epic to see New Zealand in the box in the final, says Vitamin Green. And also, we have got there, Amish need vodka for that sneezing, not water. And that's why I was saying thank you to his fans. Thank you, Aaron, says Dubé. And also, this will be 100. Italy have folded up like a cheap umbrella in the high wind, says Brian. I believe they're taken directly, or they're talking directly to Ireland at this point, says Shaheem. Of course, they've still got their game around the corner up against Uruguay that the All Blacks will have to be very strategic with who they select. Italy coach laughing, says the night. Well, that's the thing. What can you do in this scenario? They probably had plans, and those plans would have completely changed when the All Blacks started piling on that pressure early on in the fixture. And now it's just about getting through this half without conceding around that 50 or so points. We've got the Italy coach laughing. And also thank you in advance for taking Ireland out for South Africa, the ABs, says Charlene. And the All Blacks will probably dismantle Italy. Everyone will rate them as potential World Cup winners. I've never doubted they can win the World Cup. And they are going to destroy Ireland in the quarters, says the breakdown. And also, I beat France 54-0, says Jody. Well, the thing is, they don't actually need to win that game by more than 1 point, theoretically, because this game or this competition is actually based off, first thing that gets you through is your win-loss record up against another side, if that makes sense. So you're head-to-head, and then they look at points differential. Looks like Riccioni getting a little bit of attention to his ankle here. Every time Aotearoa sneezes, Hamish sneezes. Happy sneezes, Hamish. Says Franz Smith. And also, Nuggy must have heard Buck stating Super Sid was the better half as he ran more, says one up my kicks. And Kieran Crowley is AB's Mafia, says Blues Note. All right. Got another scrum reset now in favour of the Italians. Only 3.5 minutes away from halftime. Anyone who is new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We are close to 35,600. We are 9 away. If you do want to help us out, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We've got plenty more Rugby World Cup around the corner. We are doing previews, reviews of a few of the fixtures as well. Also live commentary for every one of the 48 games on the channel. Tackles missed so far for the Italians, 17. That has been a stat that has drastically hurt them throughout this game, but they do get the free kick there at scrum time. I believe that was for the front row pre-engaging. And also ABs must put at least 80 on the board to show they're back at the level they need to be. ABs are back big time, a great commentary, even with the bogey bricks, says William. Now Bowden Barrett, inside of his 22, clears it downfield, nicely taken by the Italians who thought about the quick throw. Deciding not to. Where's the stream link, says Del Boy. So if you are in New Zealand, you can watch this game on Sky Sport. I believe it will also be on Prime with an hour delay. So that is the other option. And then alongside that, where else can you watch it here in New Zealand? I think those are the only two options, unless TVNZ have also got the game. And also, I'm glad All Blacks is alive, Southern Hemisphere, at least represented by a strong result. I'm a Bok. Eugene from Athlone in Cape Town. Says Eugene. Now going back across. That was a very flat pass from the Italians, but nice set play. Starting to open up here. Juan Inacio Briggs goes out to Monty Ioane. Tries to bump off Will Jordan. He is tackled near the halfway line. Garbisi. Pop pass up to Marco Riccioni. Getting driven backwards was Dino Lamb. And now it's a knock-on advantage in favour of the All Blacks. Savia goes off to Rico Ioane. Will Jordan going with the chip and chase. The ball sits up for Varney, who does put it down. Now Monty Ioane close to the touchline. Only 5 metres from the Italian line now. The ball is stuck in the middle, and the Italians will just manage to retain the ball. Geordie Barrett rushing up very quick to make the tackle on Sebastian Negri, and the All Blacks give away the penalty in the breakdown against Brodie Retallick. Tackle and no clear release against Brodie Retallick, although it was Geordie Barrett who made the first initial tackle on the Italian player. I think he's a little bit frustrated there. Retallick also got pushed by a halfback, so he'll probably crunch him in the second half. I can't believe Teenager cut down the Sycamore. Says it was there from Peter Wild, but that ball has gone into touch. And nice to see good spirits with the guys, says Chloe, and also keep it real. Or keeping it real hot, ginger, lemon, garlic, honey tea. Says Ruth. And a shot of rum. Now Nicotera. Throw that ball in, nicely taken by, I believe it was Sebastian Negri this time. Now Lamalo. Runs straight. It is opposite number. Dalton Pabale. Juan Inacio Briggs goes across to Monty Ioane. Tackled by Mark Talia. A little bit of a counter-act there from Rico Ioane. Geordie Barrett just roughing up the youngster, and that will be the penalty in favour of the AB. Stephen Varney was just getting thrown around. In fact, it was Capuzio in the breakdown. And people sleeping on New Zealand won't be amazed if they thump Ireland, says John. And how many times have the All Blacks won the World Cup again? They have won 3. Springboks also have got the 3 under their belt. And they're talking about Sam Whitelock, because if he is able to win the World Cup with the All Blacks this year, he joins a very, very small list of players who have been able to win 3 World Cups. And how many times have Ireland played in a semi? Says Lightbringer. Not many, but there's a first time for everything, isn't there? Cody Taylor now. Throwing this ball in for the All Blacks, currently just after the 40 minutes. So if this ball goes out, it will be half-time. Now big run from Geordie Barrett, trying to go over the top of Lamaro. Now going to the short side. Here comes Mark Talia. Now Smith goes to the left-hand side to Wanga. Fussy, quick hands off to Brodie Retallick. Another penalty advantage for the ABs now. Believe that is for offside advantage. Nepal Alala hits that one up 10 metres out from the line now for New Zealand as they get driven slightly backwards by the Italian defence. Cody Taylor, pop pass up to Ofa. Tuangafasi places the ball back to Cody Taylor. Those two are just playing their own wee game here. Smith going to the right-hand side off to Richie Mo'unga to Geordie Barrett. It's going to be put down by Richie, who took a bit of a knock there by the looks of it. He will get straight back up, though. Congratulations, New Zealand. You won Cricket World Cup warm-up and Rugby World Cup warm-ups matches today. Says Master. And also we have got the Italy. Says it was the Rap Demon, and also it's not over yet. Says here, John, the message that New Zealand gives is that its classification is not in danger, that we are candidates for the title, says Camilla. So Mo'unga will kick this one into touch for the ABs. They'll have one last attack before the end of the first half. They cannot bring up the 50 points, but they can get extremely close. Now, I should mention Richie Mo'unga currently sitting 6 from 6 from his tackles, from his kicks at the post. No one player has won 3 World Cups yet. Whitelock be the first, says Dean Jones. Exactly right. Joining an elite list all by himself. Now, Barrett uploaded off to Ofa Tuangafasi. 10 metres from the line now for the All Blacks. Cody Taylor again goes with the pick and go, although this time it may have backfired. The Italians almost end up with the ball, no player off the feet. So it does end up with another penalty advantage. Ofa Tuangafasi sticking out the arm. It's driven back. The tackle attempt by, I believe that's actually the Lucy prop replacement. So that means Danilo Fischetti was the Italian player who made his way from the field. Now going to the left-hand side, Retallick back to Mo'unga. He goes for the cross kick, diving from Cody Taylor. Doesn't quite get to it. If they had gone with the regular passing, it would have been a try, but the ABs, they went risky. They already had the penalty advantage, so they decided they wanted to try and get their highlight reel try. And Cody Taylor does the big dive for the ball and is just out of his reach as he went for it. Look at there, Whitelock, congratulations, huge achievement, says Ruth. And also congrats Sam Whitelock on his 69 plus 80 match, says Blues Nate. The AB's kicking it for the corner again, and we're up to 43 minutes in this first half, which does mean the Italians, they will start to tire as this half goes on and on, definitely with the frantic tempo that has been played throughout that first 40 minutes. But Cody Taylor now going to be going for this line-out throw. He'd much prefer a rolling maul try chance rather than having to dive out in front of him, I would think. Now thrown into Shannon Brazell. Blacks, this one's well set, 5 metres out from the Italian line. Starting to creep forward once more here for the All Blacks. Only 2 metres out. It's about 10 or so bodies all in the way of the ball. It's in the back with Artie Savia now waiting patiently. Looks like he wants to go off the side himself, and he gets there. Another try for the All Blacks, 7 in the first half, and they will go into the second half with a 47-point at least lead here. And that is the second try for Artie Savia as well, I should mention. So Smith's got 3, Savia's got 2. The AB's on fire throughout the first 40 minutes. Pass the ball, Taylor says Sione. And there's, although he couldn't do anything in that case, Cody Taylor, it was Richie Mo'unga the one who did go for the cross kick rather than Cody Taylor. And after the quarterfinal, Ireland will go home, says Desmond. And Beast Mode on the All Blacks says a night. And also Italy are asleep, says a night. Yeah, they haven't really shown a lot throughout this first half. Unfortunately, throughout the first 8 minutes or so, they looked like they were going to be relatively decent in this game. But then from there, it just seemed to be that lack of defence at times has really hurt the Italian side, and now they go into the second half with quite a drastic deficit. Currently the AB sitting on 47, still a kick to come for Richie Mo'unga. This is the ABs we know and keep the ball in hand and the foot on the windpipe, says Kernowick. And also we'll get their wake up Italy, come on now, says Jeffrey Borta. And the All Blacks should have played like this against France. That is how they always play, says Stull. Yeah, they've gone for the running rugby rather than the kicking game. And that one has gone over now for the AB, so that is going to make the score 49 points to 3 going into the second half. Welcome back, Kiwis. That was from Zirit. And also we're there, for God's sake, Italy. Will you wake up painful to watch the team getting their ass kicked, says Dennis. And also enjoying the show. Cheers, bruh. Says Lionel, thank you very much, mate. Hugely appreciate it. I see your name's Lionel Itchy rather than, of course, Richie. But we are currently sitting relatively high towards our goal, ladies and gentlemen. So if you haven't already, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Of course, another Richie who is at the game is Richie McCaw in attendance with Conrad Smith and Stephen Donald. They will be impressed with what they've seen throughout this first half from the All Blacks. But throughout this halftime break, we are going to be looking through at some stats. So far in the whole game, 62% territory in favour of the All Blacks, 68% possession, and alongside that, the last 10 minutes territory has been 91% in favour of the All Blacks, which means the Italians, they just haven't been able to get their hands on the ball, and it has been showing throughout that first half of rugby. The All Blacks, they have managed to beat 17 defenders throughout that first half compared to the 3 that the Italians were able to beat. We've seen 366 running metres for the All Blacks compared to the 132 of the Italians. And then also at line-out time and scrum time, the Italians 50% for scrums, 75% for the line-outs. The All Blacks currently sitting 10 from 10 for their line-out accuracy. I think this shows that when they play running rugby rather than kicking rugby, they play a lot better. Says Nelly, and Italy getting owned. Says Irish. And yeah, and I feel sorry for Ireland, says Donovan, although I'm sure that they'll be watching this game going, right, we're up for the challenge, we're ready to go. And at the end of the day, should be a very entertaining game if those two sides do match up in the quarterfinals. New Zealand cheating again. Barrett taking the extra step from the 22. Says DL, I assume you're talking about one of the clearing kicks. And I mean, I'm not sure which one you are talking about. I know that you're allowed to step on the line for a 22, but I'll say right now, I don't think that that one kick from Beauden Barrett would have changed the 7 tries that the All Blacks have scored throughout that first half. And Springboks are the only team to win the 3 finals they played in. So get your facts right. They did not play in 87 and 91. Says Mario. I assume that's not to me because we haven't mentioned the Springboks in about 10 minutes, Mario. Who would you say, or what would you say of the Italian coach? Feel sorry for Italy, says Sophie. Well, the thing is, like in that case, Kieran Crowley, he's a great coach and he's actually taken Italy quite far over the last, let's say, maybe 12 or so months. But the problem that they've got here is defensively allowing the All Blacks to break the line as often as they did. It just means that you're always playing catch-up in this game. Like, we've only seen 72% of the Italian tackles made. That means every 7 tackles, 3 times, every 10 tackles, 3 times the All Blacks are breaking through. And then most of those times that is leading to the try. And next week, France will send his B team. Says Bruno, although the thing is France can't really afford to do so. Because if France get beaten in that game up against Italy next week, France are out of the World Cup. So they need to play that game as if it was a final as well and make sure that they put out their strong side so that they don't end up getting an upset loss to them. Is Rico Ioane going to do anything in this match? Picked him at centre in my fantasy rugby team and so far he scored sweet. Yeah, he's not looking flash, I'll be honest. He's also dropped the ball a couple times, so I don't know if that hurts your fantasy points. But yeah. Rico Ioane probably, sounds harsh to say, but probably the most lackluster player who's been out there on the field for the All Blacks up till this point. Impressive New Zealand, says Ockert, and Italy have never gotten better. I'll say it again, says John. No, I feel like they have had improvements. Like if you look at some of their Six Nations results from the recent year, yes, they didn't win many of their games, but they got extremely close up against some of the top sides around the world. So I feel like for Italy, this game is not a good one to base it off in terms of where the Italians have been, in terms of the progression that they've been able to make. I have to go to a house party. Enjoy the rest of the game, guys. Thanks, Irish. Great commentary, says Brian. Thank you very much, mate. This is classic Ian Foster coaching side, a world-class attack and impenetrable defence, says Ian. And France nearly lost to Italy the last time, says Trajan. And up the wires, says BST. Unfortunately, not quite the year for the Warriors in the NRL, but next year, future's looking bright for them. Hopefully, they will be able to do decently. Ireland will lose again in the quarters, says Nathan. In France, New Zealand, South Africa, and Ireland looking a cut above, said grungily for us. Hopeful Scott, says Kelmac. And Ireland will not throw a game, says it was there from Zaret. Yeah, I think Ireland up against Scotland will be going with a strong team. Although the team that we were talking about, or that they were talking about putting out a slightly easier side was going to be France. But I believe they'll also have to go with their strongest. We're missing some of the fire we used to have in the centres like Ma'a Nonu and Conrad Smith, says Filafatu. And hopefully this will make the ABs overconfident. And I'd still rather face them than play France at home, says Gavin. And also New Zealand race into the quarters, says Kevin. Although they do still need to win their game next week as well. Up against the Uruguayans. The Telfast 180 hay fever tablets is very good for sneezes, itchy eyes, dry eyes, and the headache. You get from the pharmacy or the chemist. Says it was there from Herman, so I might have to take your advice in that regard and see what I can find. How do Italians know how to build good cars? Says Oliver. I don't think we can base their whole history off one game of rugby, though. At the end of the day, if they could build their defense like they are able to build some of the best cars around the world, then that would be ideal, because that's the thing that's been hurting them, just those gaps defensively. And I mentioned about it, I believe that it's hurt the Italians from their last game up against Uruguay. They decided to switch about 3 or 4 of their backline players into different positions. We saw Garbisi go to 12. We saw Capuzio go to 15 rather than out on the right wing. We saw Allen go from fullback to fly half. And because of all of those changes, it's then meant going into this game that what they defensively remembered last game has been thrown out the window, because they are playing once again in their original positions. That they were doing a great job there, brother. Keep it up. AB's all the way, says Simon Whānau Nuku should have been in the lineup. Says Ian Foster. I thought that they would have at least given him a crack off the bench in this game, to be honest, but they did decide against it for the ABs. So we will have to wait and see whether or not plays up against Uruguay. I should mention penalties conceded so far: 2 against the All Blacks, 8 against Italy throughout this game. We have got there, Italy must go sleep. All Blacks all the way, Ice Mellow, yes, says Carmen, and New Zealand always comes from behind. They are that good, says Stull. And also Ireland going to thrash, says Ronnie. And there's the non-verbal communication is next level. Watch the double tap on the hips from Smith to Savia for that last try. Awesome, your mum and dad deserve nice lunch anyway, says Kurt. I'm sure they'll be very happy with this halftime scoreline. At the moment, my mum said All Blacks by 30 plus in the preview that we did. That was up on the channel, ladies and gentlemen, for anyone who hasn't seen it. And good evening, everyone, says LJ the man. And it seems like the game primed for a late Roygaard injection of energy, says Ian Foster. And there, I agree. I'm a big fan of Leicester. Too bad he's off after the cup, says Sai. And love of the short, sharp passes from the All Blacks, says Willie. Yeah, it just seems to be that their backline currently is on the same wavelength, which is good news, because more than likely it is going to be a similar backline to what they will have in their future games. The question mark, I guess, is it the fact that Jordie Barrett's back for the All Blacks? And that's the reason that they are firing the way that they are here. I feel like he is a massive, massive help for them throughout that first half. Looking at some of the key players in their half, we've seen 85 metres made by Artie Savia throughout the first 40 minutes. Aaron Smith with the most points with 15 due to being successful in scoring his hat-trick. Sebastian Negri, he has made the most tackles, and Artie Savia has had the most carries over the gain line throughout this game with 8. Are they all through the All Blacks out of the conversation? Guess who's back, says Leo. And also, that's a good point. Re-enter Jordie Barrett. I do think he's a difference tonight, says Willie. Explore, because in that first game up against France, I will need to be reminded, did Jordie Barrett play, or was he missing for that game? I think he played, didn't he? But then, I can't think of who they would have had at 12 if he didn't play. Probably Anton Leonard-Brown, actually, if he didn't play. But was Jordie Barrett there for that one? Do let me know. And D-Mac and Roygaard will be starters when Razor comes in, says Trajan. And that's the other thing. A lot of these players in the starting lineup will be going overseas next year. So it will open up the door for Mackenzie and Roygaard to go straight in to that side. But looking through at the All Blacks bench that they will be bringing off in a short moment, Dane Coles, Tamaiti Williams and Tyrell Lomax recently returning from his injury. Sam Whitelock bringing up his 149th cap for the All Blacks here. Sam Kane at number 20, also returning from his injury. Cam Roygaard, Damian McKenzie, the 2 starters from the game up against the Namibians, and then Anton Leonard-Brown at number 23. For the Italians, Fiver is there at number 16. Nema has already made his way onto the field due to the injury that we saw of Danilo Fischetti. Nicholas Canoni at number 19. Zuliani at number 20. Halafihi at number 21. Page Rello at 22. And Odogwu at number 23. I've got there in the chat, injured off, says Jimbo. So it was Havili, says Ian Foster, for that game. And not to mention very good discipline and no cards yet. A touch wood, says Paul Henry. And also we have got there intelligent play. Smith stopped a free play earlier on by spoiling the ball and milked a penalty 2 minutes later. So smart, great performance, power and pace. But the rugby intelligence is off the chart, says Finton. Second half to come, Hamish Roygard and the George McKenzies, says Blues. And yes, Bok fan all the way. There must be an ABs versus Boks best match ever. So exciting, says Joshua. And useless Italy, get vol of, or get, I don't know what that says, of these minnows in the World Cup, showing them to be top 8. Play in the World Cup, play against each other, then best 4 in the quarterfinals, says Ron. Although, if you've only got 8 teams, it kind of gets very limited from being a World Cup, doesn't it? It just becomes like a Autumn Nations series, which we already have. It's sad to even to say, even if New Zealand rest 4 players for the second half, they can still win, says Rudy. And also Italians, Nemo hand signals, says Side and Ireland are going to crash again in the quarters, says Nathan. Although the thing is, the Irish, they will not want to be overconfident going into that contest. Same can be said about the All Blacks, because both sides will know on their given day that the opposition can beat them. And it's going to be an absolutely awesome fixture when those two sides go head-to-head. If Uruguay had the opportunities Italy have, they would have improved way quicker, says John. Have you got any positive things to say about the Italians, John? In fact, have you got anything positive in general? Because I swear every time we see you in the chat, you're complaining about something. So have you got any good news going on in your life at the moment that you could let us know about? It's over for Italy, says David, and G's New Zealand chow and pasta this evening. Says Brett, I'm challenging Stulberger to make a donation, says Stan there. And up to Lars, says Fu'u in the chat as well. And John, yeah, Uruguay culture and Italian are similar. Same with Argentina, says Mikhail. And Eugene from Anthlum, Cape Town. At least rugby will be the winner. 2 teams from both hemispheres. Lekker, says Eugene. And good call, says Crispin. And hopefully the ABs don't sub till late 20 minutes, says David Mobb. But a few of the other stats to look at throughout that first half. Of course, Aaron Smith able to get himself the 3 tries on attack for the ABs. Alongside that, we saw Adi Savia get the 2. Will Jordan scored the first try of the contest. Taleo also getting himself one along the way. 44 metres carry for Paulo Garbisi. A little bit of an honourable mention for the Italians. Geordie Barrett having 40 metres carried. Has touched the ball 10 times. 2 clean breaks. Or 1 clean break. 2 defenders beaten. But Savia has certainly been leading the charge at the moment. Look at there, calm down, John. Where's the love? Says, I don't know if anyone said Geordie Barrett didn't play versus France. He wasn't even a sub. Says JK's all around. So yeah, I believe that the big thing here is he's been a real difference maker in this AB side, and they've looked a lot more stable when he is out there on the field. I was really hoping for an upset here by Italy, so sick and tired of Boks versus All Blacks matches, says Sino, and these Kiwis always thinking they are so good. Well, I have news for you, says John Jacobs. Yeah, that's the thing. No side in the World Cup can get too confident, because rugby is such an unpredictable game that anything can happen. And either way, there's going to be some great games. Sorry, guys, I just don't like the Italians, just here because I enjoy Hamish's commentary, says John. And also, Mighty All Blacks, says Leon and H. What was your prediction? I said the All Blacks by 25, and I thought I was being generous. But I definitely underestimated the impact that Geordie Barrett at 12 would have on this AB side. I'll be honest, I still feel like the selection, they're close to what they could go with, but I think there's still a couple more changes that should have been made for them. But in this game, at the moment, it's not going to really matter who is on the field currently, because they are still flying towards that 100 points. Second on the table, says Paulie B. And good call, bro. And there as well was Ronnie. Thank you very much. Shave your head, Hamish, if you hit 40k subscribers. No, I'm all right. I think I'll keep the hair. Although summer's coming round, but then the problem with summer is if I shave my head, if I wasn't wearing a hat, I'd just keep on getting sunburn on the top of my Swede, and that would be quite painful. I know Interactive, you are in the chat. There's a really good channel, mate. Well done, says John Jacobs. Thank you very much. And also a super sticker from Tapan as well. Thank you very much as well, mate. Hugely appreciated. Anyone who is new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We are on the road to 36,000. So if you want to help us get there, hit that subscribe button. It is greatly appreciated. And you will get notified when we are live on the channel. We've got 3 live streams back to back for the Rugby World Cup. It'll be nice to see Sam get over on his 149th. Says Kennewick, how about a mohawk? Says, so although the only problem with a mohawk is because I wear headphones, I just crush the mohawk each time. And I honestly said by 70. Says Mark, but the second half now underway. Bowden Barrett kicks off long The AB's looking to continue that momentum they did have throughout that first 40 minutes. The All Blacks currently defending Italy with Sebastian Negri. The ball 10 metres out from their line. That looks like it will be the penalty against Jordie Barrett. We know how to jinx a player, ladies and gents, but Barrett just on the wrong side of the breakdown. Hey, Hamish is your second name. Watson, it is not. No, I'm not that footballer from the Wellington Phoenix a while ago. And great commentary. AB's enjoying the game. South Africa says Neville. And the All Blacks says Ethan there. And awesome, let's go, says John. Jordie Barrett just rolling and then catches the leg of Stephen Varney. And ends up getting penalised. If you reach 40k subscribers, then you must wear a Springbok Rugby jersey, says Rishan. Although the only problem with that is the Springbok Rugby jersey is green. And I also have a green screen. So I think my body would disappear if I was to do so. Or it might slightly disappear. It might not completely go away. Thanks for the feed. We're in Austria. This has been great, says Pete the Pirate. Thank you very much, mate. Usually appreciate it. Italy now 40 metres out from their line. Varney going across the Garbisi. Little offload up from the replacement. Lucia Pro. Great attack and run here from, I believe that was going to be Luca Morisi onto the left-hand side. Already looking like there's a bit more attacking intent from Italy throughout this second 40 minutes. Lalala making the tackle on the halfway line. Now Varney going off to the right-hand side again. Garbisi offloading around. This is a much better set play. Garbisi sells the dummy. Got the pass on the outside to Tommaso Allen, who's wrestled into touch by Beauden Barrett. And it will now be the line out for the All Blacks, but a much better start to the second half for the Italians, showing what they normally would, which is that set-piece beauty when they do get it right. Morisi. In fact, it was Allen just ran out of space on the near side. We've got the Hamish 70s Como would work well with the headphones, says Stan. And you'll be a floating head, says Rudy. And also, guys, wouldn't give their game away, says Chloe. Now it's kicked downfield towards the touchline. Nicely taken by the youngster Capuzio, who we have hardly seen throughout this game, but now he's going to be running the ball back. Thought he saw a gap, ran straight into Artie Savia's chest. Fun fact, that's not a gap. Now, it's going to be to the right-hand side. Varney gives it off. Once again, another penalty advantage against the All Blacks. Now the ill discipline starting to creep in. You're a great commentator, my go-to every time. Thanks, says Charlene. Thank you very much. Usually appreciate it. Now Retallick trying to get over the ball. And able to do so. Now the Italians still playing under penalty advantage here. Around the side of the breakdown, looks like it is actually another one of the substitutes for the Italians. I believe that was Niccolo Canoni this time. Can you tell me why Mark Nicholas shouted Healy? No idea, no. And also, much rather the Box lose to Ireland in the final than the AB. Started the AB, someone here says, Zeno, get a perm, says Jeremy. I don't think my hair's thick enough to get a perm. It's quite thin. Like, the thing is, if we were like 3 or 4 years down the line, and you guys are like, shave your head for 40,000 subscribers, my hair will probably just fall out by that stage. Like, I think I'm going to be bald by the time I'm like 28. Great commentary today. Italy really laid an egg today. Disappointing to the Italian fans for sure, says Jonathan. And enjoy the commentary from Boston, says Rick Harris there. Now the Italians, they have got themselves another line out, about 15 metres out from the AB's line. And like I said, this has been a much better start to the second half. I reckon a rugby ball bunny ears type attachment to the headphones for 40k subs. Says JK's all round, stolen at line out time by the All Blacks. Now off to Mark Talia. Charges up towards the 22. Now the All Blacks unable to kick that ball out on the full, but the penalty has been given away by Italy, so now they are able to. Sam Whitelock to score in the second half, says Mr. Loom. And also All Blacks will win World Cup. I like the shorter collar, Hamish, says Jan. I do too. The other collar was way too big, wasn't it? That's well. Nicely kept in by Stephen Varney. Now it's kicked downfield. Nicely taken again by Beauden Barrett just outside of the 22. Oh, Will Jordan. Don't worry, you're looking awesome for 42, says Rudy. And the penalty this time goes the way of the Italians. Every breakdown at the moment, it's going one or two ways, which is either an Italian penalty or the All Blacks getting themselves one. But it's Paolo Garbisi this time who managed to win it. And also, how old are you, says Nori? I'm 23, almost 24. an AB shirt for 34 or 35k subscribers. See, so I feel I actually do have one in the wardrobe for an All Blacks kit. So perhaps we'll wear it in one of the videos. We could wear it for the lineup prediction, perhaps, that we're doing to the All Blacks, which we do every single week, ladies and gentlemen, that the ABs are playing. Same with the Springboks, same with the Fijians. Anyone who is new, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We are only 54 away from one of our goals. So if you do want to help us out, we have got over 2,000 people watching. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. That is going to be nicely stolen at line-out time by Shannon Brazil. And now Smith back into the pocket to Richie Mo'unga. Does put this ball into touch. Italians, I think they almost would have wanted to take that one quickly if they had the opportunity to, but it did roll out. Oh, you make me feel old, Hamish, says Sai. And we have got there, oh guys, please leave him alone. Can't you see his sexy, says Jean in there. I've got a cute niece your age, says Charlene. It's like a dating site now, isn't it? Although I've got terrible sleeping hours, I should mention. Like, I sleep during the day at the moment with this World Cup. So, very tricky in terms of, I guess, the outside life. Although I went golfing yesterday. I only lost one ball, I think, so that's a bonus. I was half asleep, though, so that might have been why. Line out throw now for the Italians. Nicely taken. That's a little bit too early engaging from the All Blacks. So the penalty advantage now back in favour of the Italians. Currently have gone the first 6 minutes of the second half without scoring a try. Varney back across to the left-hand side. We have got the laughing faces from Charlene. I don't leave the picture in the ovens now. Says Blues Nate. Still playing. Varney flicks it off to Garbisi, and they will go back for yet again another penalty. You're the same age as my son. Says Trajan there. You're 23. You don't need sleep. Says Sophie. Yeah, I've learned that recently, that my body functions off very little sleep. Like even yesterday, for some reason, I was up for about 28 hours, slept for 3, and we're not even at the weekend yet. So risky business. And we have got there, can you tell me where in New Zealand Ikawai is? Ikawai's kind of close to me. I think only about 2 and a bit hours. Hamish just short of twice your age. Says Stan, and happy Friday, Rugby Peeps, says Yvonne there as well. But the line-out's lost so far from the Italians. They have lost 3 compared to the 5 that they have been able to win. Now Nicotera gets that one right. Canoni claims it. Now the All Blacks defending this rolling maul, but the Italian crowd get in behind them. All Blacks holding it well. They have been told to use it. Stephen Varney goes off now to Juan Inesio Brex. Montijoani with the fend. Pass on the outside. Capuzio to the corner. Scores the try. It was almost the identical position. Jeez, be careful, Monty. You're going to hurt the poor boy. But it was almost identical to the location on the field that Will Jordan scored the first try of the match for the All Blacks. Now the Italians get over for their first. And it is Ange Capuzio who was able to score it. Oh. Okay, why is Capuzio getting in the face of Cody Taylor? I don't know what's been said here. Dalton Papali'i pretty much tells him to go away, go back to school, he said. But I don't know what happened. A missed tackle, I think they said, is what caused it, or a dangerous tackle. We're going to look at this again. What happened? What caused the kerfuffle? Okay, there's nothing there. Something's happened. Matthew Carley, I think, was just saying that they might start with a penalty in favour of the Italians, although we do need to see another angle to find out where it is that it's happened. But great finish from Capuzio. Where is he? There he is. Capuzio. There we go. And there we go. Rico Ioane missing the tackle, they've just said, unfortunately for him. Hasn't been his best day. We have got there when I was 23. The Box just won their first World Cup, says Stan. We've got there, one moment. Get some white. Keeps you wide awake, says Trajan. And handbag, says Novmum there. And Tommaso Allen keeps it at 100%. He is sitting 15 kicks from 15. And it looks like now is the time that the All Blacks decide to make their subs. Capuzio, he has scored that try. It looks like Roygaard is now making his way onto the field. Aaron Smith will be going off And Whitelock now making his way out onto the field for his 149th cap now for the All Blacks. There you go, the Black Cat, says Master. And also we have got Boo Italy, says Petty. Oh, it was a nice try. Capuzzo scoring in the corner. It's a bit of feistiness going on after. I think that's just from frustration, to be honest. Capuzzo almost tackled by his own teammate there. And Ivan Nema. Now back across to the left-hand side, and there seems to be a little bit of an extra spring in the step now. Cody Taylor wrestled down, charged down by Scott Barrett, picks the ball up 5 metres out from the try line. Mark Talia, he wanted to be that guy who goes with the pick and go. Instead it will be Lomax. Roygaard goes off to Brodie Retallick, who's over the All Blacks. Answer back instantly and score themselves another try. This time it's Big Brodie. Retallick. There we go. Brodie Retallick scores the try. It's first off the Rugby World Cup. A strong try, says Audio. And Matthew Carley must have had a visit from Italian Mafia when he got his wad of cash, says Strasher. Nicely charged down by Barrett, putting the pressure on. Picks it back up. Didn't quite gain his footing underneath. And good call, says G. Thank you very much. And can't miss tackles. And exactly twice your age. Glad you haven't sneezed in 10 minutes, says Albert. Yeah, I've done well, haven't I? The hay fever's decided to leave me alone, which is quite nice. But it always seems to be when I wake up in the morning, I just, now I feel like I'm going to. It's not like yawning, though. As soon as you say the word yawn, people start yawning. Did anyone just yawn? Awesome commentary, says Amata. And All Blacks for Life, says Sai. And no contest, says Marco Brown. So currently 7 from 7. For the All Blacks, off the kicking tee for Richie Mo'unga. Now lining up this kick. And for Mo'unga, that one is successful. It has gone over. And that will now make the score in favour of the All Blacks 56 points to 10. Scott Barrett back with a bang, says Jimbo. And also blocked by Locks and scored by a lock, says the Blues Nate. Yeah, a lot of work being put on there by the Locks, because I should mention that Scott Barrett, Sam Whitelock and Brodie Retallick are all now still on the field. So they have switched Scott Barrett to number 6 in this case. Well, Jordan inside of the 22 kicks it towards the touchline, although it hasn't found the touch. And it's there Garbisi waiting for this one to bounce, leaves it for Tommaso Allen. Can't judge how good the ABs are against the weaker teams. See, Sam, exactly right. The All Blacks have had a good game, but we still need to definitely, I guess, wait until that quarterfinal to work out exactly how strong the ABs are going to be. I should mention Whitelock came onto the field. That was for Shannon Frizzell, so only given him half a game since coming back from his injury. Prediction was ABs 48-16 Italy. Looks like 84-16. Says Andre and Richie doing fine for a guy with an injury. Says Sergio. And have a break, have a Kit Kat Hamish, says Mikey. Oh, I absolutely love Kit Kats. Definitely Kit Kat Chunky. Those things are great. Now Cody Taylor. The ball back to Roygaard, who slings it off. So now Geordie Barrett. Down low by Zuliani. I should mention also that Paige Arello has made his way onto the field. That is to replace Stephen Varney. Now Richie Mo'unga. Spotted Mark Talia out wide. Doesn't quite find him. Instead goes straight to Capuzzo with another attacking opportunity, but well tackled low by Rico Ioane. Now a lot of pressure being put on in the breakdown by the ABs, and they get the ball back. Rico Ioane ball on the inside to Savia, who's thrown to the turf. And I will go back for the scrum now from the original knock on. All Blacks first to make 100 points. Says Jason, they're going to have to get a move on. They haven't got a huge amount of time left, only 27 minutes remaining. Snowing in Dunedin, says Matthias. I mean, we've got sun here, but it was raining earlier on, but it'll be a bit chilly down south. Have you tried the Kit Kat ice cream? I have not, no. Is it good? Or is it not as good as the others? Did you have to say Kit Kat now I want chocolate? Says Albert. It looks like a training match for the All Blacks, says Galback, although there will still be things. Like always, when you go out onto the rugby field, you learn things that you need to do to improve from the next one. Get the rest paid off, or get the rest paid off for ABs. They back in the game, says Kairangi. I mean, I don't know whether or not the refereeing, though, would lead to the amount of tries that we've seen in this contest for the ABs. A lot of the times that they've scored have been from just straight open play. Big scrum there from the ABs. Roygaard going across to the right. Now out to Geordie Barrett, finds his brother Bowden. Pass out wide to Will Jordan. Got the offload on the inside, going back to Bowden. Now 10 metres out from the line. The pick and go around the side from Will Jordan. Gets a couple extra metres. Smart move from the AB's backs. Now Geordie Barrett running hard at the line. Roigard, they've got numbers to this left-hand side. Moonga now slinging pass. Cross kick from Bowden Barrett. Mark DeLea not able to get it. Instead, Ange Capuzio cleans it up and now counter-attack. Here for the Italians. Great tackle made by Mark DeLea. Roigard on the short side. Steps back in and doesn't quite score the try, although that's double movement if he has. I think strategically he should have put that one back. His momentum gets him to the line, says Christoph Ridley. I feel like there was one too many rolls there for Roigard. And H, who will be playing next game, says Joe. So the next game that we have got is going to be tomorrow morning New Zealand time. That is Argentina versus Chile. A game taking place between two South American sides. Also, that's the wrong one. Don't believe those. This one. This is what we want. Fiji versus Georgia also taking place. And Scotland versus Romania. Another game that has taken place as well. Australia, Portugal, and South Africa, Tonga. They will be the two games taking place on Monday morning. See, for me, like that's double movement, I think, for Roigard. Yes, he was close, but I think by rolling there, while the Italian's trying to jackal, he was short. Then he rolls over, puts it down. I think it might be a little bit too much from Roigard to be able to call that a try. Very close, though. Have you ever had a Perky Nana? I absolutely love a Perky Nana. Now, I should mention that as a type of chocolate bar, ladies and gentlemen. Not a grandmother who looks after herself. But, yeah. The chocolate bar's good. Okay. The ball is short, then he shuffles it to the line anyway, as the comment made by Matthew Carley. And listening in Whit Sunday, says Tim Ford. And cheers, brother, you got this, says Sai. So it's going to be no try, which is understandable. Roigard looks frustrated, but I believe that the better option there would have been just putting the ball back and then allowing the man at halfback to be able to get over that line. It would have been easy enough. And too many cross kicks, just pass it through your hands, says Trajan. Perky Nana, one of my favourite chocolates. And the Kiwi lads, says Marco there as well. It looks like Paulo Garbisi. The penalty does go the way of the Italians for double movement. Why on earth is a chocolate bar called a Perky Nana? It's said as Nana, though, rather than Nana. So I think that's, yeah, it does, like, writing it down does look a bit dodgy, doesn't it? But they're quite nice. The chocolate bar, that is. And poor choice, says Jimbo. Now we all want chocolate, says Rudy. And yeah, there's going to be a line-out throw for Fiver. It's going to be going over the top. Cody Taylor cleans up. Now Mark Talia breaks through, finds the offload away to Papali'i, who's done extremely well to claim that ball behind his ass. And he's been able to score it now. Now that is actually terminology of what exactly happened. He caught it behind his back. Looking like he was, what's one of those, that's like a chicken setup, isn't it? But Dalton Papali'i manages to get over the try line again. Papali'i, there we go. The All Blacks adding quite the list of try scorers throughout this game. Mark DeLea finding that offload, and then Dalton Papali'i catching it, using his cheek as a way of balancing the ball, and then going over the try line. Look at that, refuse to yawn, biting on my teeth, says Isha. And also my wife likes a Perky Nana in the morning, says Sai. And New Zealand slapping Italy, says Justin, go for a toasty instead, says Chazinko. Toasty does sound alright, doesn't it? Now Mark DeLea has got himself a try and now an assist. The All Blacks move up to 63 as the kick has gone over. So you don't have any chocolate bars in New Zealand called Frisky Auntie? Not that I know of anyway. But no, I don't think we do. Cabri made Perky Nana. Go to buy myself one later on today. Says it was there from Novman High from South Africa, born All Blacks. Says Ronaldo there. And got to have your daily fruit. The Perky Nana, says Daryl. Kicked off deep now by the Italians. Will Jordan taking it inside of the 22. See there, Ferrari has made his way back out onto the field. That was due to an HIA that was getting checked out for Riccioni. Now Sam Cane making his way out there onto the field. I believe that will be for Dalton Papali'i and also Dane Coles, the other player making his way onto the field. We have got the New Zealand not tested too easy. Let's go whoever plays them in the quarters. Says Porter. And also I hoped that'd be Ireland if that's the case. They really deserve it, says Sino. And now Ireland will beat New Zealand, says Agreement. We'll grab a drink because I'm about to lose my voice and it's only Saturday. Whitelock slapping the ball back for the ABs. Now inside of the 22, Bowden Barrett going across here to Rieko Ioane. Mark Talia breaking through again, throws the ball forward. So it will be the knock-on advantage, but now still available for the Italians on the halfway line. Oh, Retallick missing a tackle badly there on Monty Ioane. And Italy hopeless as expected, says George. Although it's not all doom and gloom for the Italians, they have still got a chance of making their way through to the next stage of the Rugby World Cup. That is if they can beat France next week. And it's going to be a big one for them if they are able to do so. Need a drink after the Perky Nana, says Falifatu. And go the All Blacks, says Mitchell Miles. Now scrum feed. Where Mark Talia did try and go for the offload to Ioane. ABs have a revenge bone to deal with. To Ireland, says it was Bevan. It's looking like a real hiding, says it was there from David. And Ireland still have to recover after South Africa. We have a chance, says Marcus. So far, 20 tackles missed by the Italians. That's actually only 3 throughout the last 18 minutes, which is pretty impressive compared to that first half. And in fact, the second half, they have looked a lot stronger than they did throughout that first. 40, has Ioane got a try yet? He is not, no. One of the only Blues players outside of the front row who hasn't, by the looks of it. A scrum reset here. And the playoffs is where the Southern Hemisphere side starts playing. I also need a drink after all this Perky Nana. No idea what you guys are talking about, says Jacqueline. It's like a chocolate bar flavored like banana and it's like chewy. It's a weird scenario, that chocolate bar, because like it's way chewier than it should be, but then that's also what makes it unique. It's like a Dogwu, not too far from making his way onto the field here for the Italians. I don't know if you guys have Tex chocolates over there, but if you're a Kit Kat fan, then you would love it. Says Charlene. I might have to give it a look. A Tex chocolate bar. Did you watch any of the Golf USA versus Europe today? Not quite, but I am probably going to be watching it a bit later on while editing. Got a couple more videos that I want to get done before I do head to bed in the early afternoon. Penalty this time goes to the All Blacks at scrum time. Oh, that's a great name, Papali, says Kalmak. And Nana is Perky, says Falifatu. Anyone else suspect he's not wearing pants, says Ruben. Shh, don't tell everyone my secrets. No, I have got pants on. They aren't suit pants, though. They're like just plain joggers, as the British would call them. Or is that what joggers? No, what do Americans call pants? Like, as in like long, like trackies? No, that's not American. What do Americans call the bottom half of their clothes? Do let me know. Even though we've probably only got like 5 Americans watching, I would say, at this stage. Now 20 minutes remaining. Pants, says Sophie. Oh yeah, because pants in Britain though is your underwear, isn't it? Slacks, says Marcus. Now Dane Coles. Nicely taken by Artie Savia, going to the short side here. Sam Cane off to Dane Coles, the veteran. Scores the try. He's a very happy man. Cody Taylor, he spent the whole of the first half and some of the second trying. But Dane Coles is the one who actually gets the try as soon as he makes his way onto the field. It was just on the short side. Nice bit of work. Sam Cane gets the assist. Trousers, says it was Warren there. Tracksuit pants of sports, says Donovan there as well. The bro Kiwi lads wearing Crocs, says Wonder Cash. I do not own any Crocs, but I have quite a few pairs of scuffs, which are like, I guess, what are scuffs? Slides, actually. That's what some people call them, aren't they? But Dane Coles down the short side, slides over the try line. He was absolutely loving it. And so was Jason Ryan. Ian Foster is smiling. I don't think Ian Foster even smiles when it's his birthday. But he is smiling right now. for the All Blacks performance he's seeing here. He's Dane Cole, says Doobie. And also I have a Zoom group meetings with a blouse and makeup on the top and my PJ pants on the bottom. There's Charlene. Now Richie Mo'unga currently sitting 9 from 9. It's going to be a tricky kick for him near the touchline, although he has been able to get a few of them over as well. He's my guy tonight. You once again make me proud. And that one's gone away to the left. Richie Mo'unga missing his first kick of this game. He has got 9 over. We'll go there, lol, says Michaela. And also, hi, says Michaela in there as well. Welcome in. And also, why do you do the month first when you set the dates? That's a Yank way, not ours. Says Trajan. I don't control this. This like, wait, or not this. Yeah, this is an online scoreboard for that one. And also Perkinana in the second one. And also we got there Pants, says Ethan. And why does the score appear on the scorecard long before you call it a try, says Meboob. Pretty much the reason behind it is I'm watching on Sky Sport now, which has a slight delay here in New Zealand. Scuff sneakers, or they're more like slides. They're open-toed things, but not like a sandal. I hope you're noticing that the score at the moment is exactly what I said it would be. I would have came into the chat, says Charlene, although we've still got 17 minutes remaining, but if it stays this way, it will be very accurate in the prediction. A lot more accurate than me. I said the All Blacks by 25. And who scored a try, says Jasper, so that try was scored by Dane Coles. Clean your beard up, bro, says T. Henry. At the moment, I can't find my razor. The only one that I've got is a Manscaped razor that got sponsored to us, but that was for testicles, so I'm not sure if I should use it on my face. I can't wait for the black jersey review, says Jimmy O'Brien. Brian, I like slippers, says Candice. Little bit, except like outdoor slippers. I guess looks like Mackenzie now making his way onto the field. Anton Leonard-Brown also making his way out there. There's for Geordie Barrett, and Richie Mo'unga is the other man who has been taken off. So when Foster smiles, Mo'unga misses, says JP. And thank you, All Black, says Mitchell Miles. Thank you, bye, says Sophie in there as well. And also, I like your beard, actually, says Cedo. Thank you very much. And also, quarter's going to be epic, says Joe. Yeah, there's going to be some big matches, definitely on this side of the draw. At the moment, we know that England are in one quarterfinal, and then Wales are in the other quarterfinal. I wish I like your sense of humour, says Rishin. And also, we're good there. Give Rico Ioane a show, says Mitchell Miles. You can use it on your testicles and the face, says Andre. Oh, it's a bit of a double whammy, is it? I let the man laugh, been sulking last few games. See productivity. Now Roygaard rolling in the scrum once more. Another penalty advantage. Roygaard passes off to Mark Taleo, smashed in the tackle by Odogwu, but manages to get the ball away to Anton Leonard-Brown now. Offloaded up to Sam Kane, all the Chiefs players with Mackenzie now. All linking up. Wide out pass to Will Jordan, who's now in some space. Looking for the pass on the inside to Mackenzie, who backs himself on the short side, which I don't think was where the Italians expected him to run, but they're into the 22 now. Roygaard back across to Anton Leonard-Brown, off to Barrett. That is Scott. In the centre of the field now, 20 metres out from the line. Roygaard, Sam Kane's dropped the ball. Cold as well. No pressure on him whatsoever. Just goes through. Over there, good day, says, it was there from Julian. Welcome in. What's with the mullets in Australia and New Zealand? They are hysterically bad, says Sided. There are some interesting ones that we have seen, even in like our cricket team. We've got a fella with a bit of a mullet going on, but it just doesn't look right. But no one's brave enough to tell him, mainly because we know it will hurt his feelings. But yeah, I wouldn't get a mullet if I was him in the future anymore. And then I've got a pretty rough haircut myself, so I can't really like comment too much on haircuts. Plus, he will still have hair in about 5 years, whereas I will not. A razor joke was brilliant, Irish, says Jacqueline. And also Frozen Perkiniana, says Paul. Now much time left, currently another 15 minutes remaining on the clock. I see that. It is Riccioni now going off the field. That is going to be for Simeone Ferrari. Lamaro making his way off for Halafihi. You can see the disappointment on the skipper's face. You hear his Perky, says Falifatu. And Kane drops the ball, says Trajan, the traditional Kane knock on. Says Linowichi. And mullets are so common, says Albert. Yeah, they've become the new thing, haven't they? Well, they've been a thing for a few years. You could pull a mullet off, says Charlene. I don't know if my head's the right shape for a mullet. And I don't know if my hairline starts in the right place because I've got like a weird split how it's like there and there or something. So like I feel like a mullet, I'd look like a lopsided donkey, I think is the best way of describing it. And I mean, that could be the new look, couldn't it? Go into the barber and ask for a lopsided donkey, see the face that they make. Now Roigard, Whitelock's just passed the ball to the ground. And that will be going back now for the original penalty. I remember liking the haircut in the video you released today. Says Dylan Simpson. Was that the Puma one, I believe, or the one that I had a Puma shirt on, the All Blacks? The big question is, what will the score be between New Zealand and Uruguay? I think New Zealand, to be honest, they're probably going to go with, they'll go with a few changes, but I don't think they want to make too many changes compared to this side because the more changes you make, the more room for error you have, but then you don't want to risk injuries as well. It's a tricky decision for Ian Foster. Joe Schmidt talking with Ian Foster there. The one where your mum made a cameo, says Dylan Simpson. So yeah, that was from wearing a hat all day and then filming a video afterwards. You suit Brody Retallick hairstyle, says Moss. And also, cheers bro, another mean-ass commentary, always a good giggle, says Sam. Thank you very much mate for being here. Yeah, we got another one just around the corner, which is going to be Chile versus Argentina by a Honda man, please read. Says Kanata, a Honda. As in the car. I don't probably need a vehicle at the moment, seeing as Mackenzie's over. I was going to say since we already have one, but Mackenzie has got himself over the try line. And now another Chiefs player. I was just checking to see if we had another Chiefs player, and it's only Retallick, the other man, but Mackenzie off the bench has an instant impact. And when's the last time Beauden Barrett scored a try against South Africa? Says the Blacks, it'll be a little while, I'd assume. And Vamos Los Pumas says Antero, and 10 tries for the All Blacks, says Bruno there as well. Yeah, very good performance from the ABs. Going through there, Damian McKenzie spins out of the challenge. Good weekend for the for the boys. Looks like you got a few lady is that admirers? Because I don't know if that is admirers. Is it? Is that how you spell admire? It might be. I'm bad at spelling. On here, H says Sai. Do you have a car? Please read. Says Kanata. I sure do. And it goes fast. Black Cats to make final and not get robbed this time. Says Bill. Wowza, says Trajan. Now 12 minutes. There goes my score. Now it's just becoming painful to watch, says Charlene. And Mackenzie to line up his first kick. And he has got it over. Party on Mill Road tonight. If you're keen, Irish, says Jazz C. Is there? Do we have parties in Waimiri? Where about? Am I actually invited to a party? I don't get invited to parties. You see, I go in bright red, and normally I'm just sitting at home. We have Goodell. Why is my fantasy team? Do I have the only Kiwi back that hasn't scored a try yet? I do something, Ioane, says Gavin. And also New Zealand, France to the semis, says Christian. Please don't say you have an electric car. No, I do not. Yeah, mate, you're invited, says Jazz C. Do I know you? Like, as in, would we have talked before in actual, like, outside of chat? I'm trying to think whether or not I know many Jazzers. I know one that went to the gym once that I saw. Oh, the bounce of the ball. Savia offloaded to Jordan. The ABs get themselves another one. Come party with us in South Africa when we win the final, says Charlene. Could you live where you live without a car? Yeah, the local supermarket's like 2 minutes away or so. Somewhere around there. But Will Jordan has been able to score yet again. Another try for the All Blacks. He's now got 2. And the Italian's starting to crumble. We're good there. Who was the last kicker to have 9 out of 10 kicking besides success beside Richie? Probably. Oh, how many did Sexton get in that game against Romania? It would have been relatively close to that, wouldn't it? Irish, please don't get murdered, says Dylan Simpson. Yeah, that would not be ideal, would it? And All Blacks drilled Italy for good. And also we have got their scoring tries for funsies now, says Sighted. And Island be afraid, be very afraid, says Stephen. And also Ioane looks eager to score, says Falifatu. A nice bounce of the ball. Savia cleans it up, gets it off to Will Jordan. And I was just sent this from a friend. I wanted to ask any words. 4 hours later, shot him, says Dennis. And was it a safe distance for a drop goal? 30 minutes or 30 meters, says Jonathan. It's been weird, hasn't it? The amount of tries. Like some of these tries, to be honest, it looks like it should just be stock standard building up phases. But then they just break through. We could go well over 80, says Nicole, and this is a real thrashing, says Shane. Are you single, says Kanata? I am indeed, yes. I'm single as a Pringle, but Pringles come in bunches. I shouldn't have used that wording because, never mind. Anyone having problems with my guy's performance? I don't think so. Damn boys, you're truly amazing, says Rico. And also there's no party like a South African party. A symbol black jersey greatness, 80 let's go. And why does Richie McCaw never mention the Springboks, says Goldberg. And that's a dad joke, says Falifatu. And keep it up, boy, don't hold back now. Also, we've got there 100 for the boys. I mean, they're getting close. 9 minutes remaining. They would need 3 more tries. But now every time they try and get that line break, they are managing to break their way through. So Rico Ioane related to the Italian number 7, says the Black Samoan. And also nice to see what the plan was. Best example of the plan. Now we will see if Ireland have the mettle to carry out against the Irish, says Kurt. Now, loose ball from the Italians once more, but they have managed to regather. And now they've dropped it again. Now they've dropped it again. That was 3 times in a row that the ball did touch the ground. Pringle says La Chica. So Amish is a group, he says, been a while, but now it's going to be Mackenzie again breaking through for the ABs. 10 metres out from the line. Roygaard slinging it across to the left over the top of Whitelock, who wanted it for the 149th game, but they have got themselves the penalty 10 metres out from the line. No girlfriend, but how many baby mamas you have, says Falifatu? None at this stage that I know of. It would be a bit hard. Now, Bowden Barrett. Got to remember, I hardly leave my house. So, like, it's another try. Dane Coles gets a second. They're just passing it through the hands. And Dane Coles has scored himself one more try here. Like they've said, easy as you like for the ABs. They are now up to 87 points, I think. The scoreboard's a little bit behind. And also we have got there. Oh, there we go. My country is getting demolished. Damn, says Mari. And also, Ems Me Boita says Kanata Life. Not sure what that says. And imagine being named after a fruit. Kiwi Noobs says Ben Walker. Well, fun fact, that fruit was originally called the Chinese gooseberry. But there you go. And also give Whitelock a try, lads, says Abade. And also 89 points to 10, says Storm. This is really sad, says Balamutha. Yeah, it's just gone more and more one-sided. Anytime they pass the ball inside of the Italian 22, Conrad Smith like that. Well, Richie McCaw knows that this game's more one-sided than he would have liked it to be. Bad. Ireland, where'd that go? Ireland will show the All Blacks why they are number 1 rugby team in the world. Italy are no contest. Going to be a lot different against a quality team, says James. And also we have got their... does Samoa have a chance of going to the quarterfinals? With the score, or with the points the way that it's sitting, I believe that Samoa now cannot make their way through, unfortunately. Just because Japan versus Argentina, I believe, will be the game that determines who actually makes their way through. The kick has gone over once more, ladies and gentlemen. Tell you what, it's a high-scoring game, that is for sure. Currently trying to one-up what the French were able to do. We'll go like this. We will go like that. There we go. We have got there, come on, All Blacks 100, says Storm. And also how long to go, says Paulie B. Still another 6 minutes remaining. So if the All Blacks are going to be able to get themselves 1 or 2 more, well, that is going to be now another penalty. Is the AB score getting close to what you shot on the golf course, says Cater. If they shoot, or if they score 1 more try unconverted, that's what I shot in my round. So a little bit rough, but I will take it. I did touch again, 75 minutes through. And also Ireland is going to see their ass without a mirror in the quarterfinal if they play the AB, says Dylan. I've never heard that saying before. But it's a fun one, isn't it? A DMAX special family pack $20 or $19.95, says Blues Nate. Now Dane Coles thrown in nicely. Sam Whitelock, damn, I thought Italy was good, but they can't take on. Oh, it's through again. Roygaard, anytime we try and make a statement, they just charge. It's going to be offloaded. Anton Lienert-Brown scores. And that is another one for the ABs. They're scoring as quick as I'm adding them onto the score sheet at the moment. There we go, Anton Lienert-Brown. Another try for the All Blacks here. They are just try after try after try. My godfather is probably having a ball. And even Mr. Mark J. Says Nicole and scored, says Denzel. Offloaded off the back from Sam Cane. Inside ball to Roygaard. And then found the pass off to Anton Lienert-Brown. Saw that Ioane was right on him. So decided to pass. It's another try for the ABs. It's my friend's birthday today. Please can you shout out my mate? Ray, says Ben Walker. Shout out to you, Ray. Hope you're having a good day. Bit of rhyming. What car do you have? Says Kaneta, a fast one. Although I'm also really bad at like cars. Like I know what car it is, of course, but like in terms of if someone's like, I got this car and they name an exact model, I'm like, what color is it? And then that's how I judge a car. And also Kiwi is also a bird here in New Zealand, says John. Certainly is a flightless one that is not very, like they don't do a lot, the old Kiwis, but I guess rugby league team, they've gone all right recently, haven't they? And Garabisi going off now to Nicholas Canoni. Savia trying to get into the breakdown. Now the ABs are sitting on 96 points, I should mention, which means if they score once more, they will get the 100. Now nice pass, Odogwu down the wing. Great low tackle made by Anton Lienert-Brown though. Now 3 minutes remaining. Back across to the right-hand side. Same bro, I got a silver card, says Daryl. And now nice commentary. See you on the next one. To the rest of you, we're coming for you, says T. Henry. And also love it up, Kiwi. Save your tears for next week. Up against the Uruguayans, I guess that is. That you are saying they're going to cause the upset. Now Brix going across to Odogwu. Italy can score themselves one more try. I'm sure they'd be very happy about it. Now nice run forward from Ioane. Finds the offload out to Capuzzo. It's a 2-on-1 out wide, but McKenzie makes the low tackle there. 5 meters from the line now for the Italian. Savia trying to get over the ball for the turnover. Not able to do so. This result, where'd that go? This result is going to set or be an Italian setback. Penalty goes the way of the All Blacks for a neck roll in the breakdown. They just aren't getting it right. I've got the Kiwis wonder around the bush at night. He shoots and leaves, says Bevan. And damn, I really thought Italy was good. But I think they can't take on the mighty All Blacks. That is a big kick downfield from the ABs there. And we were talking about the World Cup upsets. Ireland was talking about the final. Somehow they forgot about the ABs. Says Jasper, New Zealand is having fun on a merry-go-round. I love your live streams. I wish you could be in... I love your live streams. I wish I could be in bed with you. My bed's only a single bed, though, so not a lot of space. Just for me, sorry. Oh, I am flattered, of course, Ben. What went wrong with Italy today? I think it was too many changes that they made in their last game. They had a reshuffle in the backs. It seemed like defensively it wasn't quite there this time because of, I think, a little bit of that, but also just the pure pressure that the All Blacks have been putting on. Now, off the back again, Sam Cane going to Roygaard. Across to Anton Lienert-Brown. Now Barrett. A slow tackle from Kanoni. How much time still left in the game? We've still got another minute remaining. So the All Blacks, they do still have time to bring up their 100. That's a high shot on Damien McKenzie. I believe it will be a penalty advantage against Halafihi. Although, seems like play on just for now. Whitelock moving up to only 20 metres out now. Roygaard to McKenzie. Off to Kane. Thought about passing to Lomax. Still 30 seconds now left. Quick hands from Coles. Our white to Artie Savia breaking. Found the offload to Coles, but he left it too late. Wait, Nick Berry. He said it was out, and then he put his one back down. The score is nearly 100, so as your commentary, the All Black Supreme says Stephen. It's going to be kicked to behind from Italy, deciding to go for one last break if they can get it right. McKenzie does knock that ball on. Looks like he might have injured himself, McKenzie, there too. It looks like he has got up, though. Juan Inacio Brix Now the Italians, they've decided they want one last crack at this AB's defence. Low tackle from Dane Coles. First century coming, says Denzel. Now on the outside, will be Favour. And off to Zuliani. 20 metres out from the line here. Low tackle made on Nema by Sam Kane. On page Relo. Lee up to 6 phases. There might be a chance here out wide to a Dogwood. Stepping around to Leah, but he takes him down. Found the offload to Ioane. And that is not Rico, by the way. That is Monty Ioane, who has scored the last try in the match. They get the final chance in this contest and they make the most of it. And Monty Ioane, the try scorer in this game. I'll be honest, I did not think if I was writing Ioane down, which I've now forgotten how to spell. There we go. We got the letters around the right way. Yeah, I didn't think if I was writing Ioane down, it wouldn't have been Rico's name in this game. He's probably been one of the more quiet players in this match, Rico Ioane. But over the try line for the ABs, or sorry, for the Italians right near the end, a Dogwood great offload, spinning out of the tackle with Bowden Barrett. The wrong bloody Ioane, says Gavin there. Hang on, was his foot in touch? Was his foot touching that white stuff? The grounding happens before his foot goes out, they've said. So we can award the try, ask the referee. Oh, it's close. I think his foot actually bounced in the field of play, went up, and then the ball was grounded, then it went back down. Oh, damn it, Ron Ioane in the fantasy team. I'm also predicting that you become party with us in South Africa and become my nephew-in-law, says Charlene there. Right, okay. Well, I have got a trip planned to South Africa at some stage. I don't know when, but about 4 years, or within the next 4 years, before the next World Cup would be quite nice. Give it to him. Cheers, Amish. Early one tonight, metal detecting tomorrow. Good warmer for the ABs. Nice bonding match for the men in black. Says Kerno Wick. And also we get their foot touching the white stuff. Says Falifatu. And also we get their Springboks versus Tonga. I think 85 points to 3 in favour of the Springboks. I should mention there's still a kick to come for the Italians, and that kick has gone over now. In score, 96 points to 15, over 100 points in this contest. Will you shave your head for this 100-point win? They didn't win by 100 though, so I guess not. Are you all good, bro? Thanks for the commentary. Nice commentary. Well done, the All Blacks. They reel black. Well, they reel back. Says Donovan there, and how easy is it to score against the AB, says Jimbo. I mean, we've seen the Italians do it twice in this game, which is something that the All Blacks, they'll look at this game as, once again, a learning experience. What can they do better as they do make their way forward? Give the lad the try. Your heartless Himis says, Dennis, no, I thought it was a try. It was just they had to check it, make sure. And also touch the white stuff, says Jimmy O'Brien. And come to South Africa, have a lekker braai, says Rishan. And there as well. Just talking to Steve Anson after the game, but the All Blacks winning it. Clinical performance, scoring a lot of tries. Looking through at the list, Will Jordan managed to get himself the 2 tries. Smith got 3. Talia got 1. Savia got 2. Retallick got 1. Papa Lee 1. Coles 2. McKenzie 1. And Anton Leonard-Brown 1. Hamish, you want to come to church tomorrow with me, now famous? Says Mikey. I'll probably be asleep for most of Sunday, if I'm being honest. We're not going to talk about how Italy almost ended up like Tonga in 2021, says Talnufi. Although I got invited to a party tonight, although I don't know if I'm still invited. I'm quite the party animal, of course, as you guys know. I'm normally in bed by 2 o'clock in the afternoon so that I can stay up all night. Awesome commentary once again, Hamish. The ABs are back, says Adrian. What a fantastic game. Thanks for the commentary, says Storm Still. Thank you so much for always being a great host. I'll be watching our box from a fan park on Sunday, says Charlene there. And also, how many Islanders on the New Zealand team? Robbers, says Porter. How many New Zealanders on the Irish team? Robbers, Porter. Hey, you've got a little bit. No, that's okay. We forgive you for that, so you should forgive us for our team too. A great comms, mate. Thanks, says Ethan Price. And also, thanks for the commentary, says Vanessa May. And cheers, Hamish Tar, mate, says Tar. And also, we have got there, thanks, Hamish, great commentary. Put the Sky dude Nisbet to shame, says Neville. And also, just me or Rico Ioane gone slow. Yeah, he didn't look great in this game, Rico Ioane. Probably one of the only All Blacks who didn't really step up throughout that performance. And thanks, Hamish. Always good time here, says Dylan Simpson. And box 60-0. If you once go Once you go black, you never go back. And thanks, H, says Joe. And also thanks, mate. Only missing last comment. Well done. See you next game, says Dennis. And there as well. We wait on the Wallabies to join the party, says Wilbay. Also, can now sleep in peace. Can't wait for your next game. For the ABs, thank you for Leka commentary. Hasta la manana, says La Chica. And also thank you for the commentary. You're always spot on. Thanks, first time here. We'll be back again and have subscribed, says Angela. Thank you very much. Hugely appreciated. And thanks so much. Good work. See you again. And also, cheers, says Mr. Oh, sorry, says, yeah, it was Mr. T. And there. We will take the win equals cheers, Kiwi lad, says Dubé. And top commentary again. Thanks so much, says Jacqueline. But yeah, anyone who is new, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. We will have our post-match review coming out after this game has come to a close. And also alongside that, for the other games that we have got of this weekend, we've got Argentina versus Chile taking place at 2 a.m. Fiji versus Georgia going to be taking place at 4:45. We are covering both of those games on the channel alongside Scotland versus Romania, the later game of the evening, taking place at 8 a.m. Australia, Portugal, and South Africa versus Tonga will be the last two games for the Monday, and that will be the last game around 4 in the Rugby World Cup as well. From tomorrow, the Irish pundits will be in a panic, says Jesper. And also we have got there tomorrow Argentina versus Chile, Vamos los Pumas. And also we have got there Box France or AB's Island, says Lawyer. It does seem like those are the ones that are matching up for the quarterfinals currently. Hopefully we get to see a couple more good games of this round. A little bit closer than this game. Well, a lot closer. Will be ideal for those other matches that are going to be taking place. But I do thank you all very much for tuning in. Like I said, if you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Got plenty more coming up on the channel, including our post-match review. Thank you all very much for tuning in. And I will see you all for the next one.